Isn't it time you thought about an estate plan for your family? Estate planning attorneys help prioritize and carry out personalized asset protection strategies. The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott has served the legal needs of individuals and their small businesses since 1977. Our experienced estate planning team is ready to help. With Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, you get more than a lawyer, you get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Nancy Tanucci.
1 minute.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home, the real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two have geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist
15 seconds.
startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 10.
Every country struggling to find that boundary. The U.S. is a tough one because, you know, we have the notion of the First Amendment. And so what are the exceptions, you know, like yelling fire in a theater, you know, and because you're anonymous online, you know, it can be worse. I do think over time, you know, with things like deep fakes, most of the time you're online, you're going to want to be in an environment where the people are truly identified. That is, they're connected to a real world identity that you trust instead of just people saying whatever they want.
Yeah! What's going on, all you scallywags, nutmeggers, and conversationalists across the country, you know, because they go online. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC on this October the what? 25th, right? The 25th. Jeez. 2024. I say that every day. I know the date before. It still gets later, and later. We got a wonderful show planned for you today. Don't forget, today is Friday, so therefore...
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
If you've got a grievance, give us a call, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Air out your grievance. I don't care if it's about a traffic cone or a traffic stop or traffic in general. You can take it out on Mark Christopher, who's not here today, unfortunately. But if you got something to share that you've got a grievance about, give it to me. Share it with me. I find them all interesting. I love them, and I especially like Commentary, who calls in. Matt in Bristol calls in with great stuff. White Mike calls in with great stuff in Florida. So anyone who's got a grievance, call up and give us one today. I have two sort of monologues today, and I'm going to give them separately. I'm not going to inundate you with monologues today. But I was thinking about this because it is an election, and everyone's talking about scandal with the votes. And I get these messages on Instagram a lot. Scotty O sends them to me. Julie B sends them to me in Boston. And a lot of them are about the election. And a lot of people talking about election deniers. You can't question the 2020 election. Calling Donald Trump, Kerry Lake, anyone who questions the outcome of the 2020 election is an election denier. I started thinking about that word, denier. It's powerful. It's impactful, I should say. It's impactful. Another time they used that term, it was the original denier, the Holocaust denier. Ooh. Somebody called you that, you immediately got shut down. I'm not a denier. You got defensive. I'm not a denier. So they started applying it to other things. Climate, you're a climate denier. Now election denier. And I got to thinking, everybody deserves a turn of phrase. So I'd like to help conservatives. I know some of you are already ahead of me, but I think we should turn this back on them. We need to start using the word denier where it counts. Let's say you are pro-life and you're talking to a pro-abortionist, and the pro-abortionist is calling that baby inside the belly a clump of cells. You can call them baby deniers. I like it. I really love it. I think it's brilliant. Well, baby denier, when do you think conception begins? Just start using it. Try it out now. Yeah, baby deniers. They won't like it. They'll lose their minds. Trust me, you know how sensitive they can be. Use the word. Remember, it's used to impact you, to shut you up, to shut you down. That's why they use it. Oh, you're one of those client deniers. Oh, you're a baby denier. You don't believe that those clump of cells is an actual baby. How about this one? Voter fraud. Since we're on the topic, right? In election, when you say that there is voter fraud out there, and they say, oh, it's infinitesimal, it's only a small amount. Oh, you're a fraud denier? They must be. Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, today.
Good morning, everyone. District Attorney Heather Adams. On Tuesday afternoon, I was contacted by Krista Miller, who is our Chief Clerk of Elections, regarding potentially fraudulent voter registration applications that had recently been received by her office. At that time, she informed me that the Elections Office received approximately 2,500 applications at or near the deadline for registering to vote. While preparing to process these applications, staff noticed that numerous applications appeared to have the same handwriting, were filled out on the same day with unknown signatures, and some were previously registered voters, excuse me, and the signatures on file did not match the signatures on the application.
Voter fraud deniers? How about them apples? How about Second Amendment people? What do you say to people who deny that you should have a right to bear arms? Gun deniers. That's what they are. You know it. You don't believe that anybody should have a gun. You're a gun denier. You are. You believe that good guys with a gun don't stop evildoers. You're a gun denier. Hey, how about people who say that Tren de Aragua is running around taking over apartment buildings across the country like Martha Raddatz said on ABC News? Remember when she said it was only a handful? We'll call them crime deniers. Are you denying that these people are suffering from crime? You're a crime denier. All of this stuff is applicable, folks. This is really happening. You're not denying that the climate changes. You just don't believe that it's man-made. You believe that the climate changes all the time. But they use it to demonize you. These are real things that they do. They deny the crime that you're existing. People being tossed out in front of trains. People getting mugged on the street, dragged by mopeds. They think this stuff isn't happening. Oh, you're exaggerating. Crime deniers. How about talking about climate change? How about this one? Carbon is life. Carbon is the food for trees. Didn't we just get Bill Maher? We caught him in the 90s talking about how carbon belonged everywhere. Carbon is a fabric of our life, he said. We'll call them carbon deniers. You deny the use and the usefulness of carbon in our lives. We are carbon-based life forms. You're a carbon denier. How about people who wish to give their children the best education ever and get them out of a failing school and get them into a school that's successful, has an 80, 90, 100% graduation rate? What about the people who deny those folks and their children to get a good education? Come on, you know the word. Education deniers. These things are just, they write themselves. These things actually exist. It's not like the BS they keep feeding us about everything else that isn't true. Right? These made-up deniers, these made-up denials that they place on all of us. These are real things that they deny. Yeah, thank you, Lori. Whoopi Goldberg, not questioning the moon landing. She's a astronaut denier. So these things are crazy. How about those people who think that there are 72 genders? Huh? They can just make them up as they go along. Aren't they gender deniers? And in all of this, folks, in all of this sums up to one kind of denier. There's only one kind of denier in all of this, and they can all be summed up from the fraud deniers, the baby deniers, the free speech deniers, the gun deniers, the crime deniers, the carbon deniers, the education deniers, the religion deniers, gender deniers. They can all be summed up by one explanation. They are fact deniers. That's what they are. They deny the facts. They wish to make it up as they go along. Everything is fluid. Facts don't matter. The truth doesn't matter. It can be anything. Life can be anything you want it to be. Everyone should be allowed in. No matter what you believe, there are no checks and balances. That's what these people are. They're just fact deniers. And we need to start. We have to commandeer their language. The same way they took the rainbow. Hey, didn't they? There was no resistance. People, I'll be honest with you, it was easy for GLAAD to take the rainbow, to be honest with you, because, kids just painted rainbows. Nobody was using the rainbow like in daily lives. Now they just paint, they just took it over. No one even fought. Well, now it's time to fight back. Let's just take their word and flip it on them. And every time you hear them speak, just go and dismiss them as they dismiss you. You're just a baby denier. You're just a fraud denier. You're a fact denier. You don't like facts. Facts are inconvenient to you. Bob D says, logic deniers. Indeed, sir. Logic deniers. That's what they are. This is all of those things that they are. They're so true. Hunter Biden laptop denier. Chat room's on fire on this one. Yeah. Hunter Biden laptop denier. That's all. That's our fat positive people. Fitness deniers. You know what? Thank you. My chat room is on fire today. All of you, listen, this is what I'm talking about. You see the motivation that's happening here? You get it. You get it. If there's a rush over you that's saying, yeah, man, Reese is right. That's what they've been doing to you. They have been commandeering everything. And it's all about the language. I remember someone when I was a kid said, he who controls the language controls the conversation. He who controls the conversation controls the agenda. And we have been seeding that ground for so long. It's who we are. We just don't want to fight. We don't get into fights where they are necessary. We stay back. What was it that goodness gracious, his name is escaping me now, but from Network. He said, we just want to, let me sit down and eat my TV dinner and, watch TV. Just leave me alone. So the rest of us are just like that. But again, we can't. We can't anymore. There was a time when the world used to happen outside. There was a time when the world was the world and your life was your life. You didn't have to care about those things. But nowadays, everything is infiltrating or affecting your personal space. You can't even hang a flag outside your house. You can't even express yourself if it doesn't adhere to some new world order that your neighbors or friends or just passerbys don't adhere to. You can't. That's how bad it has gotten. Unfortunately, you can't just mind your business. So what do? You have to push back. You don't have to push back physically. You don't even have to push back in a mean way. Just call them what they are. Because remember, what they're trying to do is they're trying to actually distort reality. They want to create a virtual world that you have now decided you don't want to live in anymore. I don't think it's okay for me I don't think it's okay for me to hate my country. I don't think that's okay anymore. I don't think it's okay for just anybody to be able to come into the country and live here scot-free off my tax dollars. It was all right when it was our average citizens who needed a hand up. But now you're importing a bunch of loafers and leeches. Now you're actually letting them just crawl through the country and you're going to take my money to pay for them. And the worst off is that you don't even consider the troubles or the problems that I'm going through. You're going to take my money and you're going to give it to someone less deserving. And when I need that money, you give me a hard way to go. What happens if I need a loan? What happens if I got a kid I need to get through college? Ain't nobody doing anything for me, but I'm supposed to sacrifice so somebody else who's put no sweat equity into this world gets it for free? I'm supposed to wait in the back of the line while somebody, based upon their race or their sexual orientation or whether or not they want to transition, gets to skip the front of the line? I won't let somebody skip me at the movie theater. This is what has happened to our world, and enough is enough. Now, I know there are some people who are going to vote to keep all of that in play. They don't care about the invasion at the southern border. They don't care that their tax dollars are going to a bunch of people who have put no effort into building this country. I don't think it's going to be a large sum, but it's going to be a considerable one. We will be able to see the numbers. If I would put my reputation on the line, look, we might see a good 50 million people decide on more of the same. Please, sir, more. I need my civil liberties violated by the federal government. More, please. We might get that. We might get a considerable amount of people who will vote for that. But I believe to a large degree, many people in the United States want no more of it. That's what this election is going to be about. I really do believe it. It was hard to tell in 2020, but I'm feeling 2016 all over again. Even if it's for a little while, I hope that this is something that we can build on, because it doesn't end. I'm sorry, I'm already thinking about 2028, believe it or not. That's just me. I'm a little more involved than most people. But it can't stop here, because guess what? They'll never stop. They hate this country. They hate what this country has become. They hate what it was founded on, and they wish to destroy it. They wish to remake it. They will never stop. And that means neither can we. We can't sit idly by, because the moment we're caught sleeping, it's over. We'll take a break. More news, more views, your phone calls and reaction. When we return, it's an airing of Grievance Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Paid for by government. Now is
clear.
Fill your
Thank you,
vault
sir.
with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1 ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more.
You've got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land. The common clay of the New West. You know. Morons.
Huge advocate for QC Kinetics and their natural approach to getting you relief.
Look, we get one trip around, so I wouldn't ever let pain stop me from hanging out with my race team, traveling with my family, or golfing with my friends.
Emmett's got it right. And QC Kinetics uses regenerative medicine to relieve that never-ending pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. And the best news, there's nothing foreign being introduced into your body. Just your own body's natural healing properties. No surgery or no downtime.
If pain's holding you back, maybe it's tennis, pickleball, running, hiking, or spending time with special people in your life, what are you waiting for? This is precious time. Get out there and get over to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, hosted by Dr. Anthony Alessi, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts in their fields about the latest medical findings and call in with your medical question. Healthy Rounds is dedicated to providing accurate and timely health information and is sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Ratchford Eye Center, St. Francis Hospital, Covaris, and Yukon Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC, News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com. And now, a WTIC News Update.
3:30, Hartford temperature 63 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. It is day 5 of operations in Berlin as crews continue to battle the Hawthorne brush fire. They say they still have the hope that they'll get a hold on the situation by the end of the weekend, and they continue to urge the public to stay away from the scene as well. No-fly zone is still in effect when it comes to drones and aircraft. FEMA has approved a grant to help cover the costs. It'll provide 75% reimbursement. The choppers used in the effort are costing around $100,000 a day. Arrangements are set for Robert Sharkovich Sr. He is the Weathersfield firefighter who died Tuesday in a UTV accident while on the fire line. Calling hours for Sharkovich 2 to 7 on Sunday from Farley Sullivan Funeral Home in Weathersfield. The funeral will be in Hartford at the Cathedral of St. Joseph beginning at 11 on Monday.
I think they
Hartford
were too,
police
Craig.
investigating a shooting. They say just before 6 p.m. Thursday, officers were alerted to a gunshot victim who had arrived by a private vehicle to Hartford Hospital. 19-year-old male was alert and conscious, is being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. A food poisoning outbreak tied to McDonald's Quarter Pounders has expanded, with at least 75 people sickened in 13 states. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says at least 22 have been hospitalized. One person died. No source of the E. coli outbreak has been identified. And Vice President Harris and former President Trump are centering their attention on Texas with less than 2 weeks to go before Election Day. WTIC News Time 3:32. Here's Jason Caterino with the forecasts.
Well, the rest of today, sunny and pleasant, the high of 66. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, it'll be cool with the low down to 44. Partly sunny, it'll be windy for us on Saturday. The high back to 66, but it'll feel quite a bit cooler all day with that west-northwest wind cranking along at 12 to 25 miles an hour. Then on Sunday, mostly sunny, cooler but less windy. There'll still be a breeze out of the west-northwest, but the high of 59. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, westbound 84 with congestion between exits 37 and 32. Right lane block there. They had some debris in the road out in Plainville that's backing things up. As far as the rest of the ride is concerned, eastbound 84 in the Hartford area, congestion reported between exits 44 and 51. And on the westbound side out of Hartford from 51 to 46. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy
Don't blame me.
houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
We all hear the radio ads about the IR.
1 minute.
They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten
Thank
you
you.
into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com.
Seconds.
800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Ooh. Okay. This is one of my favorite jams. Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I hope you folks did enjoy the opening monologue. We got another one coming in a little bit. This one's going to be probably a little hotter than usual. Okay, I'm not going to use any language or anything or anything. Let me just let the front office know. I'm not going to use any language. I am no way whatsoever. I'm not even going to skirt the idea of saying something offensive. Okay, I am only going to talk about the Democrat Party because it is very important that we establish who Democrats are. And if there's going to be complaints, it will be from Democrats for what I am going to say about them with audio soundbite evidence of who they are. So Democrats, fans, spies, whomever you are, please stick around for another 30 minutes because as we used to say in the hood, girl, I'm about to tell you about yourself. So stay tuned for that. This thing going on with this whole denial thing, the reason why I brought it up was I almost feel like what's a part of culture is language. And liberals often go after language. behavior is another thing, right? No matter what generation you go through, the one way they express themselves culturally, or they try to change something culturally, is they use it like, what's the bottom feeder's way of changing culture? You go after sex and sexuality. It's always the way. I mean, it just is. The sexual revolution. See, everybody's having sex with everyone, right? And then the gay movement. Look, same-sex marriage. Now we're at a place where it's just like, oh, we got pansexuals and, A, B, C, D, elemental P. It doesn't matter. It's all of a sudden, it's always the most base stuff. But another one is language. So controlling language, that's how they get people. And because you consider it norm, that's how you normalize things, you immediately start to adapt. I didn't know any conservative that would ever use the term baby mama, if not to mock it. Now people use it free-flowingly, like it's regular part of the conversation. I hear conservatives use the term baby mama, don't even twitch. When I use baby mama, I use it as a pejorative. Is that your baby's mama? Yeah, when I say it like an evil doer. When I say baby's mama. When I call it the hip hop, I call it, is that what the hippity hop kids are doing? Yeah, I want them to feel uncomfortable about their culture. I don't want to normalize a thing. When I hear these kids using the N-word, I go, wow, can't wait until Britney Spears does a concert and says, what's up, my N-words? And they all look at me and they go, well, what? Is that not acceptable? You guys use it at church. I make sure that it is dripping with the animosity that I mean it as. So I don't let them get away with the language thing. I just don't. To the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Bob's in Enfield. How we doing, Bob? Bob?
I don't think so.
Bob maybe. Okay, we'll put Bob back on hold. We'll get back to him. Let's go to White Mike. White Mike's in Florida. How we doing, Mike?
Hey, man. So Florida has opened up early voting, so I stopped in yesterday and did my civic duty. And, you know, it's a long ballot. It was like two-sided, full-length page, all the usual stuff, you know, the big national elections and a bunch of judges and things and amendments. And the two biggies amendments were Amendment 3 and Amendment 4. Amendment 3 is to legalize recreational marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And I voted yes on that because I think wasting police time on marijuana people is just kind of stupid.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to buy a cookie to go watch Avatar 3 in IMAX 3D and have a good time, why should they have to do it illegally?
Okay.
So fine.
All right.
But Amendment 4, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm waiting for that one. Mike, did we lose you? Uh-oh. Mike, are you
there?
Yeah, I got you. You still there?
Hello?
Yeah, I got you, Mike. Dude, you don't have me. Something is going on. Okay, we'll put Mike on hold. Let's see if we can get Matt in Bristol. We'll get back to we'll check that out. Matt, can you hear me?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
How we doing,
there?
Matt? Matt?
Well, I'm assuming you can't hear me.
I can hear you, sir. I'm hoping you can hear me.
I can't hear you.
Oh, we got that again. I think we're going through the same thing we went through before, buddy.
All right, try it now.
Okay, how about now, Matt? You got me?
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, you there?
Yeah. What you got going?
Hey, how's it going? So, well, first of all, real quick with White Mike, I don't have a problem with the recreational marijuana by itself, but the problem I do have is people driving with it. And
yes,
I noticed a lot more wrong way crashes in Connecticut since they legalized it for recreational use.
Interesting. And it's true. We've heard, I should say, that a lot of these wrong way drivers are always impaired. Sometimes it's alcohol, but other times they're not very clear on what they're impaired or how they're impaired.
Yeah. Well, you can give a breathalyzer for alcohol. There is no test for marijuana.
One of my biggest gripes, I said that back in 2004 One of my biggest gripes, I said that we cannot test for it. And until they're able to. And I remember there was a prototype that they had that could test if somebody had been smoking too much marijuana, but I never heard another thing about it.
Yeah, so until they get a way to test someone that's driving, it's just a bad idea.
Indeed.
But on to my grievance.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like you read my mind. It is traffic related. Okay.
Okay.
People, when you go out of your way and you stop and let someone into traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't give it a wave or at least a nod, you're a jerk. I'm sorry. You're just a jerk.
Wait a minute. People still haven't learned that etiquette?
No, it happens all the time. And on the flip side of that coin, if you're coming up to a red light and you see someone pulling out of a parking lot, for God's sakes, let the poor guy out. I don't understand. People are just so self-indulgent, and they don't care about anyone else but what they're doing. And it drives me bonkers. A little civil etiquette. You know
what? I think I always find that amazing. If I see someone who can't get, like he's coming out of a McDonald's drive-thru onto the main road, and clearly it's like a congested road where a lot of people are going to be coming down, like the likelihood he'll be able to get across, especially if they have to go across your side to go the opposite direction, that's going to be a nightmare for him. So I always see it, if we come to a red light, I will stop and make sure that he can get across. I'll even go so far. I'll do this, and I know I'm kind of bragging on myself, but I'll go so far as to drive into the next lane to keep the car next to
stop
me.
the other guy.
To stop the other guy so that he can get through. I've done that before because, again, I know that guy can't see him trying to get out.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing, or put my hand off as they stop.
Exactly.
Just let the poor guy out. But it's even worse when you do let him out and they don't acknowledge it at all. That's even worse.
I agree. Like I said, I find it odd that people do not take the moment to wave after. It's a simple gesture. I would almost feel it's knee-jerk to do when you do something like that. That's interesting. I find that crazy. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Good grievance and a great way to start us off. White Mike is back. White Mike, okay, you said Proposition 4. Where are we?
So Proposition 4, I actually voted no on, which means we're going to keep Florida's current standards on abortion, even though I think Florida's current law is too strict. I think 6 weeks is far too early in the process.
Right.
I would be more like a first trimester person.
Okay.
But the opposite is too much. I mean, they were going to take away parental consent and no age limits and basically no holds barred. So I had to violate my own principles a little bit on that one, but the alternative was unacceptable. But anyway, I'll get to my gripe, and it does have to do with voting.
Okay.
As I got there and voted in the library at a portable desk that had plexiglass on either side and a ballpoint pen in front of me, and I filled out what is essentially a Scantron with people to the left and right of me and the clerk able to see me over the top of this partition. I thought we've lost a lot of the coolness, the mystique of voting. You're 54, right?
I'm 55, but I know what you're about to say.
You're from the big city.
Mm-hmm.
So New York City had money. I'm sure that at one point in your life, you voted in a voting booth.
Yes.
When you walked into the booth, and for the kids out there, it was a booth that had a curtain around it, 360 degrees.
Yep.
When you walked into it, you pulled a lever, and it did ka-chunk, and this curtain unfurled behind you and closed you off from the world.
Yep.
And then you had this array of levers like you were working in a nuclear power plant. 6 levers that made a satisfying clunk sound when you pulled them to whatever candidate you chose.
Yeah.
Then when you were done, you pulled a lever to reset the whole damn thing. You pulled another lever to get out.
It was kind of great, and I'll tell you why. As you described this, what was really great about it was when the candidates showed up at polling places to vote for themselves, that was the whole photo. You know, it was kind of like unnecessary, but it sort of showed the process. So you would see like a Donald Trump walking into a booth, pulling the curtain to in essence vote for himself. Now you know he was voting for himself, but it added to the pageantry of going to an election place.
I mean, I don't think we have to go totally retro, but I think the mechanicalness of it was cool. And, you know, what the leaders are doing is punching a paper ballot.
Wait. Charlie Z is in the chat room going, what the freak is a lever? That's what we call it. It's a lever or a lever. It's one or the other. It could be either.
I think if we brought back something like that and you gave some pageantry to voting again, people might do it more. But right now, it's just like filling out a test in school.
Yes, it looks so SAT. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And worst part is, I don't even get like a special pen or anything with mine. It's just a friggin' Bic.
I think you're 100% right. We did lose a lot of pageantry in voting, and this whole deal about, you know, it seems so in and out. It doesn't even feel important unless it gets to moments like this. But you're right. I wish that we had the whole process with the booth. I missed that too. It's a good point.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Let me see if you got it. Let me see if I can get, I'll get Ralph in South Carolina. Let's see if we can get him in for a minute. How about you, sir?
Good, Reese. How you doing?
I'm all right.
First comment I want to make was communists and socialists are calling Donald Trump a fascist, which is really kind of crazy. Also, I will guarantee you ask Kamala Harris, what is a fascist? She won't be able to answer.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't tell you what a woman is. I don't think they're going to be able to tell you what a fascist is.
Fascist is, you know, the sad part about the word fascist today, it is almost as horrible as racist. You notice they're not using that on Donald Trump. That word has all but gone from their vocabulary. The word racist doesn't, like when they say it, they think fascist has much more emphasis than racist does. That used to be used with such regularity that when people heard it, they recoiled. I always go back to that Decision Points book by George W. Bush, that when Kanye West said that he didn't care about black people, how much that affected him. So when you call somebody a racist, they immediately like, I'm not a racist. They immediately get defensive. And George W. Bush was no different. But now it's been used so often, it doesn't have the same. Now when you call somebody a racist, it's like saying that somebody, cuts the edges off of their sandwich. Like that doesn't have any effect.
Reese's, I mean, you've got 4 years of history with Donald Trump.
Yep.
What did he do that was fascism?
Not a thing, but you know what? Remember, we're dealing with a media and I guess a body politic, Democrats, who believe that no one remembers 4 years ago. They think they have such a short-term memory that they don't believe anything that happened 4 years ago, even know.
And you're talking about a woman who said mandatory buyback of guns, which is a violation of the Second Amendment, and how many other things has she said, and it's all on tape. It's all provable.
Yep.
Every single bit of it. And I think, too, if you happen to see the young lady whose sister, the Army veteran who was dismembered and killed.
Yeah.
And the guy in, I forget what periodical was, said that Trump had made a lot of comments.
Yeah,
she
Goldberg.
went on TV. Right. And she said what he's saying never happened.
Yeah, I've got more on that coming up. I've got more on that coming up later on in the show. But I got to take a hard break. So let me take that break now. Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate you. When we get back, we'll talk.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, man. You too. We'll get to Nikki in a second. Well, I promise we'll get to Nikki in the next break. So stand by on the phone, and we'll talk to you on the other side of this break. So stick around. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Experience relief from oral inflammation and
Clear.
at Columbia
Thanks,
Dental. Led by Dr. Mohammadi, our practice operates 7 days a week with extended hours, dedicated to restoring peace and comfort to your smile. Visit ColumbiaDental.com.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're hiring
1 minute.
ZipRecruiter's powerful
Thank you.
matching technology makes finding
By the way,
qualified
where's
candidates
Nikki
for your
calling
job
from?
easy.
New brain, but she doesn't want her location disclosed.
Okay, I got you.
It's as easy as ZipRecruiter. Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary.
Did she say what
And
she wanted to
summiting
call about?
Everest would be
She did not.
Okay.
In the meantime,
Now we'll find out.
hiring easier? Use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to
10
ZipRecruiter.com
seconds.
free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Woo! We're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Let's get back to the phones. See if this one's going to be a good call. We've got Nikki on the line in Connecticut. How are you, Nikki? Welcome to the show.
Hi. Hi, how are you? I hope you can hear me. I'm in the car.
I can hear you fine. You sound great.
Okay. I heard first thing this morning when I woke up, Colorado has just found 12 people had their ballots stolen. Somebody had already made the vote for them, I guess.
Yep.
So that's what I woke up to this morning. But I just want to hit you up with this a little bit. Take this scenario. A person comes to the voting booth. Okay, they have not registered yet. All they have is their electric bill, and that's it.
Okay.
So the person that's taking care of the registrations takes that electric bill, calls up to the registration office, all right? And they register them right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
No ID, no nothing, just that electric bill.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're allowed to vote.
Yep.
Another person comes in right after that, makes a mistake on their ballot, gets another ballot, made a mistake on that one. They give them another ballot, made another mistake on that. That happens 4 times. They're given 4 different ballots. There's no correlation in between the ballot and the person.
Well, Nikki, let me stop you real quick. Let me stop you. So are you saying that, okay, let's use the second scenario. I get the first one because the first one I actually watched. I watched James O'Keefe back in his Project Veritas days get the ballot for Eric Holder. It was a white kid who went up and got Attorney General Eric Holder's ballot. Right? So young white kid gets a ballot of an elderly black man. So I've seen that scenario. But let's talk about this multiple ballot mistake thing. So you're saying that when a person comes up and says, I made a mistake on this ballot, the person working at the poll place doesn't take the ballot from them?
Okay, they take the old ballot.
Right.
And on that ballot, there's a strip down the side.
Okay.
That's what the computer reads.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
When they take that ballot, they're supposed to put a line. They're supposed to black down that
Gotcha.
side, the sidebar. But guess what? They don't black down that sidebar.
And it ends up
the ballot and put it in the envelope.
Right. It ends up in a pile that ends up getting tabulated anyway, even with the mistake.
Yes.
Yes.
Because what happens is that when the day is done and there's all these names that have not registered, they are registered but have not gone to vote, those names can get attached by Any ballot can get attached to that name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If there's 10,000 people in one town being on the registration, only 8,000 people actually show. You have 2,000 names there that need a ballot attached to their name.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's done. And this is going on for years. We don't know how long it's been going on, but they don't put a name to the ballot. They're not numbered. They're just pieces of paper.
I think that
there's no number to the ballot.
And again, I'm only asking because I'm assuming that you know this firsthand because you worked in polling or you worked. Okay, so you worked there.
Yes.
Let me ask
challenger.
you. Okay. Oh, great. Oh, great. Then you're perfect for this question. Do you believe that today that conservatives are much more prepared for shenanigans like that as opposed to what it was like in 2020, or do you think they're still behind on the game?
No, they're behind on the game.
You think so?
And because they just what do you say? They filed this paper for now that the Army can go ahead and arrest and fire on civilians.
Yes.
It's number 524001.
Yeah.
I think is the number. And so they did this just now. All right.
Yeah,
They're
but see,
that's why Kamala she's not out here anymore. You don't see her around anywhere because everything's already in the bag.
Okay, you know what? I like I said, I don't shun conspiracy theories here, but I understand where you're coming.
No.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not shutting it down, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Right. I'll get into that a little bit later. Right. But Nikki, I got to take a break. But I appreciate your call. I'm glad you held on. Yeah, that's it.
God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you. That's an important issue to talk about. We're going to get into that, of course, as the election rolls on. Thank you, Nikki. Let's get our first check of the traffic with Ian Stark in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. It's already busy in Hartford, eastbound, westbound, 80.
You clear.
Between
Thank you, sir.
Prospect Avenue, exit 44, and the Bulkley Bridge. You got delays in westbound, too. Trying to merge with 84 West. You're also slowing down eastbound on 84 through East Hartford into the 384 split and westbound to Plainsville. Approaching exit 33 for 72. That same traffic backs up eastbound 72 as you approach 84. Then expect delays through the Mixmaster and Waterbury. Southbound 91, slow from 291 to 84, as well as both ways approaching the Dexter-Coffin Bridge in East Windsor, which means likely exit traffic on 5 as people try to avoid 91 and the delays on the bridge. There's a crash in Farmington on eastbound 6 at the moment, slowing down traffic both ways approaching the Farmington Reservoir. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunny and pleasant with the high of 66, then partly cloudy and cool tonight, the low down to 44. Saturday, it'll be partly sunny, windy. That high 66 again will feel quite a bit cooler with that west-northwest wind cranking along at 12 to 25 miles an hour throughout the day. Then sunny and cooler on Sunday, but less windy. There'll still be a breeze out of the west-northwest, but the high of 59. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Traffic brought to you by Cape Cod Fence, more than just fences.
Cape Cod Fence Company in Canton has been Connecticut's premier fencing contractor since 1956. Quality craftsmanship, products that last for years, and the local team known for expert installation. Check us out at CapeCodFence.com. Cape Cod Fence Company.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
4 o'clock good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Governor Lamont has declared a state of emergency due to the conditions that exist throughout the state that have helped spark brush fires, most notably that one in Berlin on Lamentation Mountain. It is, of course, referred to as the Hawthorne Fire. Over the last 2 months, the governor says Connecticut has experienced severely dry conditions and lack of rain, which has increased the threat of fire conditions. As of this afternoon, no rain is forecast in the state for the next 7 to 10 days, the governor says, and they are encouraging and actually imploring people to be mindful of the situation and take care not to carelessly discard burning materials and watch for any burning as well. Now, efforts to fight the fires across the state are continuing again in Berlin. Fire chief out there, John Miserio, says they're not concerned at this point with regard to the fire getting near any homes in the area.
There's no homes that are of a concern, no evacuation concerns on the south end of the fire. Eversource does have a high tension line easement that runs through that area. They have been on site with us. They're aware of it. That section of lines has been shut off for the time being.
They're hoping to have the fire under control for the most part by the end of the weekend, the chief says, though local crews will continue to work the area to put out any hot spots until any measurable rain comes to the state, and that could be some time. The presidential campaign focusing on Texas today. Your CBS's Scott McFarland.
Vice President's in Texas for this eagerly anticipated rally that she's doing, an event along with Beyonce and the Beehive. But the focus of the event is on women's reproductive rights, which has been a consistent argument of values and of primacy for the vice president throughout this campaign. Feels like she is ramping up to a closing argument on the issue of women's reproductive rights.
Former President Trump focusing on illegal immigrants at the southern border.
We're like a garbage can for the world.
That's the first time he said that, and that essentially seemed like an off-script remark, but again, consistent with the messaging. And this is really the closing argument from the Trump campaign. Yes, the economy hovers over everything this election, but immigration is the closing pitch.
That's correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns. In North Haven, police say a man is under arrest after he allegedly pulled a knife on a second man, who then produced his gun to fend off the attack. Happened Thursday morning, according to investigators. 45-year-old Odabai Cloud charged the victim with a knife. That's when the victim pulled out his legal firearm to deter the attack. Cloud fled in his vehicle, captured a short time later in West Haven, now faces a number of charges, including threatening and illegal possession of a deadly weapon. In the race for the State House, there is a rematch in a district decided by just 53 votes 2 years ago. That's when State Representative Francis Cooley beat Rebecca Martinez in a district representing Plainville, Farmington, and Southington. The Republican Cooley says the district includes a busy, winding stretch of Interstate 84 where crashes are a daily occurrence.
Cars just are speeding too fast, and the car can go really fast, but it can't stay in its lane. And that car may not actually be the one that's in the accident, but the car's reacting to it, and it is constant. So we need more troopers on the highways.
The Democrat Martinez says she's focused on issues including health care.
I'm a nurse advocating more for safe patient ratios and bringing my patient's voice to the table. I think we definitely need more people that are actually at the bedside to be at the healthcare decision-making tables in Hartford.
Christmas 2 months from today. Correspondent Jim Krasula with more on what people are thinking about when it comes to holiday shopping.
U.S. consumers plan to spend an average of just over $1,000 on Christmas or other holiday gifts this year. That's according to a new Gallup poll. That's about $100 more than last year. The National Retail Federation says holiday sales have increased an average of about 4% yearly over the past 18 years.
Closing Bell Report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow down 259 points. NASDAQ up 103, S&P up a point. Down a point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Take a moment and think of
1 minute.
You really wanted to do recently, but you didn't because your foot, leg, or back pain got in the way. Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store. Well, you're not alone. We hear it all the time. Folks are fed up with living with pain that's keeping them from doing what they love, and they look to us at the Good Feet Store for a solution. And that's why we're here, to help get you back out there. Good Feet arch supports, which you can only get at the Good Feet Store, are designed to alleviate and even eliminate foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Plus, they provide improved balance, more comfort, and, well, just a better life. We'd like to help you turn your pain into possibilities with a free fitting at the Good Feet Store. You'll be personally fit by an arch support specialist, and you'll get to walk around and see how Good Feet arch supports feel. Then you can decide if they're right for you. For over 30 years, the Good Feet helping people get back to doing the things they love without their feet getting in the way. Stop in today at the Good Feet store in Avon, across from Whole Foods, or visit goodfeet.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't forget, folks, it is Friday, so
The airing of grievances.
that will commence today with your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Of course, this block right here is always the important, stupidest thing I read today.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Do I look that stupid? Yes, you do.
The word stellar, the definition of the word stellar is, they have several, of or relating to the stars, composed of stars, of or relating to a theatrical or film star, stellar names. Another one is principal or leading a stellar role. And last but not least, outstanding, a stellar performance. So, of course, when I picked up when I saw the new cover of the Stellar magazine, folks, you can damn well guess that I was stunned. The new edition of Stellar magazine has on its cover a very beautiful woman. But you got to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com to find out who it is. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, go to Stupidest Thing I Read Today. Go find out who was on the cover of Stellar magazine. You will not believe your eyes. And then after you read it, come back here and you can air your grievance about it when you see it. Again, you'll never guess who ended up on the cover of Stellar magazine, meaning of the best. You will lose your mind. And it shows exactly how far we've come as a society, which is nowhere. We're going backwards, folks. We're going backwards. Now let's get another check of the traffic with Ian Stark at the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
You clear?
We're sponsored by Stu Leonard's. 84 busy through Hartford right now, both ways, between the Bulkley Bridge and exit 44 by Prospect Avenue. And that means that westbound 2 is backed up as you try to merge with 84 West because of all that traffic. You're also slowing down eastbound on 84 through East Hartford into the 384 split, then westbound to Plainsville by exit 33 for 72. Southbound 91 crowded from 291 to 84. And there was a crash northbound in Weathersfield on 91 just past exit 24 by 99. It's mostly moved to the shoulder now, but people are slowing down to take a look at whatever's happening on the shoulder. This week, Stu Leonard's has 2 great deals on the Stu's app. Their mighty beef porterhouse steaks are only $9.99 per pound. You save $5 plus. Fresh, all-natural whole chicken legs are only $99 per pound. That's half price. Traffic and weather together in the 8s. WTIC News Talk.
Fritz, the fire's not moving. That's strange.
StickBets.com.
WTIC weather.
It's been a pretty pleasant day for us as we make our way through tonight. It'll be partly cloudy and cool, the low down to 44. Partly sunny and windy for us on our Saturday, the high 66. But that west-northwest wind, 12 to 25 miles an hour, making it feel quite
Johnny,
a bit
I
cooler.
saw.
Plus, with the gusty winds,
I
low
saw he
humidity,
was
and
in
dry brush,
Austin.
it will be a high fire
I'm watching the
threat for
video as
Saturday.
we speak.
Sunday, less windy, cooler, mostly sunny, the high of 59. Plenty of sun and a cool day to kick off the week Monday. A high of 54. Clouds and sun Tuesday, milder, the high up to 64. Then
Justin, do you have to drive all the way in from Springfield when you get here, or isn't that where you are, Springfield?
Right now, Danbury at 60.
I live in Rocky Hill, so it's about 20 minutes from here.
Oh, I know where Rocky Hill is.
Katarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for 2 million.
But I thought you
Financial,
worked
your
in
go-to
Springfield.
for
Why did I
retirement
think
planning
that?
and taxes. Tune in to the Father.
Oh, I do work in Springfield.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m.
Well, that commute's got to suck.
Planning with integrity on WTIC.
Yeah, it's not great.
9 out of
If I hit it right,
Yeah.
during rush hour.
9 out of 10 people don't even like baseball.
The ride home's usually nice.
Yeah, that's
Pastime.
definite.
It has an entire Hall of Fame that people visit just because they love baseball that much. Does that mean we should have a Hall of Fame? You can't frame legendary service. Legendary service and superior coverage from AAA Insurance. Something 9 out of 10 of our customers would recommend. Find out why at AAA.com/insurance and get a quote today. Based on a 2023 customer survey, insurance provided by CSAA Insurance Exchange.
California Psychics.
1 minute.
Real deal. They helped me out. Totally changed my attitude. Totally got me psyched to start my business and take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us, so we guarantee If your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
We're back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Don't forget, folks, telephone number 860-522-WTIC. And always check out ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Craig, I meant to make a mention of that. I said I got the shirts in, and it was none of the stuff that I ordered. I got the wrong stuff, unfortunately, and I had to send all of that back and wait for my stuff because for some odd reason they confused my order. But I did you one better, okay? Craig, I promise, I've got you one better. Not only am I going to give you a free shirt, which I'm already mailing, I'm going to give you a free shirt, but I'm also going to hand deliver the shirt you ordered. Okay? Don't worry. I will have that for you. So I apologize, especially because I know Jason as well. Jason ordered, and that was part of the both orders. A couple other people ordered some as well. So the whole thing screwed up, and I got to take the L for it. So I've got everybody covered. I promise. All right? I apologize. But you can still buy shirts by going to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. And I apologize, and I'm making it up to both of you. And anybody else for that matter. Before I get to the phones, so Bob, Dave, and Bob, well, both Bobs and Dave, hold on for a second. I just want to make this part very clear. The Democrats will always be who they are, no matter who is in the party. They will always be the party of racism. They will always be the party of racists and bigots. They will always see people as less than. And members of the Democrat Party make no bones about expressing what they think of people outside of themselves. It's not that they don't see themselves as black or Latino or white. They believe that as a part of their own party that they are elite and you are a peon. You are beneath us. I've got one question to ask to Democrats. When you talk about immigrants coming into the country, when you talk about it, I'm talking about Chris Murphy, I'm talking about Richard Blumenthal, I'm talking about Ned Lamont. When you talk about immigrants coming to the country, why are you never talking about they need to come here so that they can become millionaires? Why is that never a part of your mantra? We need to bring in immigrants because you never know the next millionaire, billionaire business owner who will enrich our lives could be in one of those people who are coming across the southern border. Why is it you never hear them say that? Why is it you never hear them talk about those people coming in at the southern border like we might be missing the opportunity of a lifetime bringing in an innovator, a science whiz, a person who's going to cure cancer? You never hear that. But let me tell you what you do hear out of their own mouths. This should shock you that they never talk about them in glowing ways. They say things like this, Hank Johnson.
Those folk who are coming across are the ones who are helping to put food on our table. Without them, we're not able to eat. If you turn them away, if all of them were turned away, and then this legislation passed, making it easier to get at people who are already here legally, and you have no immigration, then we would have no food on our plates. We would have nobody taking care of the building, the construction of our homes. We would have nobody cleaning up in the hospitals.
They see them as the help. Why is it you don't see them as entrepreneurs, Kelly Osborne? I wonder.
The immigration problem is a problem, and it does need to be addressed, and it does need to be fixed.
Interesting.
But making those comments, those racist comments, do not help.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm saying
There's more jobs to be
in LA, they always,
but they Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean it like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that.
Yes, you do. That's exactly what you mean about them. Here's freshman or newly minted squad member, Jasmine Crockett, a Democrat. Why isn't she talking about the next science maven tonight, the next science whiz, nuclear physicist? Jasmine, what do you say about the people coming over?
Most people, unless you've been through the immigration system, don't really understand how immigration works. But typically when I'm on the road and people talk to me about the price of food, one of the things that I ask them is, how many of your children are you raising to go and work on the farms? And I usually get absolutely zero hands. And I explain to them, this is why we don't demonize people that are actually coming to our country to help us out economically.
To help us out. Democrats see them as the help. They are indentured servants with a paycheck. A small one. A small one. They give them enough just above slavery. They give them $3, $4, $5 an hour, while the minimum wage for everybody else is $7, $10, and $15. That's the way they see them. They're never talking about them in glowing ways. How about George Packer? This is one of my favorites I heard today. Couldn't believe it came out of his mouth. George Packer is a staff writer for The Atlantic. You know, the one that's calling Donald Trump a fascist, saying that he celebrates dictators and Hitler. What does George Packer, staff writer of The Atlantic, think about blacks and Latinos who vote for Donald Trump? George, your words, not mine.
But the sharpest divide in our politics today is education. It's whether you have a college degree or not. That is the likeliest determinant of whether you're going to vote Republican or Democratic. And that's why we're seeing larger numbers, and I met some of them in Western Pennsylvania, of Latinos and black voters who are moving toward Trump.
Because they're dumb. Because they're stupid. They lack education. Again, you have to ask. I ask you, Christopher Murphy, why are you never talking about the brilliance of these migrants coming over the southern border? Huh? You only see them as the people who are cleaning, watching our children, building our houses, doing menial work. Working the crops. Spare me. Now we can go to the phones. Just wanted to get that off my chest. Democrats will always be who they are. Bigots. Bigots, racists, elitists, snobs. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Bob in Middlefield. How are you, Bob?
Hey, good, Reese. How you been?
I'm all right, sir.
Good. Hey, listen, you know, we're coming up to an anniversary.
We are?
We are. We're all coming up to an anniversary. It's the 95th anniversary of this event. I'm going to let you guess.
The 95th anniversary of this event. Oh, man, I don't know. I feel bad because I should know, but I don't.
Think of the worst thing that ever happened to the stock market.
Oh, wow. Is it really? Is today?
It's Black Monday. It's on Monday.
Wow.
And it's coming up. It's the anniversary. And guess what?
The stock market's taking a heavy dive right now.
it was going to be taking a big heavy dive on Monday. I mean, we may be seeing what they always say. It happens in twos. You got to let it happen twice.
Yeah.
This could be it. Now, I also heard, that ping that we've been getting on our cell phones because of the what do they call it? The
emergency.
The 911.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 911 calls.
Yeah.
Wait, they said Sunday something might happen, and that would be the EBS. And if it does shut down, it would shut everything down.
Wow.
It would shut everything down. And I'm urging everybody to go to the stores, get your food, take your money out of the bank as much as you can, and do all the things that you need to prep, because once the shutdown happens, it's going to be 2-3 weeks, maybe a month.
Wow.
So I'm just warning people. I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm just striking up the old prep alarm just in case something might happen. And, we're hitting these events, and we don't want to have that election. That election's not going to happen.
Right.
So we're in a limited time schedule here. Just like you said before. Remember when we were talking about this before?
Yeah.
That if the people that believe that we're not going to have an election, we're running out of time. We've got, 12, 11 days left?
11. Yeah, we got to be careful. Yeah, you're 100% right. And you know what? In fact, after that strike, the longshoreman strike, my wife was like, we got to stock up now because it's getting.
She's right. Listen to her. She's right.
Listen, I listened to her. We already got our toilet paper. Fritz, we're already on board. Thank you, sir.
You need a store. You need a store in your house. So you can just go get this stuff. It's all in a rack. It's all this stuff. Here's where the toilet articles are. Here's where the food is.
Exactly. You got it, Bob.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir. Let's get Dave in
Thank
Brantford real quick. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, how you doing? Happy Friday, Reese.
Happy Friday, sir.
I want to talk about the concept of a tipping point in sports.
Yes.
And we got 7 blood relatives, all from UConn, that are graduates from the 70s till recently.
Okay.
And so we love UConn basketball. But my concept is that professional WNBA is getting known as a lesbian sport, which I think is a very bad thing. My tipping point is if you go to a bar and there's too many Harleys or too many Rice Rockets, you don't want to go to that bar anymore. And I live on a street with a beach, and if all of a sudden the men are showing up in those slingshot bathing suits, you don't want to go to the beach anymore.
But wait a minute. Hold on. I don't think that listen, the one thing I can say about Connecticut, if there's anything, the WNBA in Connecticut will never, ever replace the fervor, the excitement of UConn women's basketball. It'll never reach that plateau. Never.
I just wanted the local news had stories about who was getting engaged, who had a wedding, whose kids had the first birthday. They would never do that to the professional men who
That's
got married,
true.
who had a 1-year-old. And I think it's virtue signaling. It's too much by half. It's as if the Boy Scouts all of a sudden became infested with gay scout leaders. The interest would drop off like a stone. And my friends are not much interested in women's basketball, and that's one of the reasons they cite.
They still lost $40 million this year. They still lost it.
Congratulations, New York Liberty. I think it was wonderful. I'm just giving my grievance, my perception. It's getting to be known as a lesbian sport. Thanks for letting me on.
You got it, sir. Thank you. Let's go to Bob in Meriden. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing great. I actually take exception to that last call.
I'm assuming you like the WNBA.
I ride a Rice Rocket.
Oh.
And if I ever met him in a bar, I'd love to chat with him over a couple beers.
Now wait a minute. What do you drive? Like a Kawasaki or what? What do you got?
Yeah, Kawasaki.
I knew it. So
I got 3 grievances.
Oh wow. Okay, you got to fill them in quick. Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to try and narrow them down real quick. First grievances is in some radio stations, they whiz through that traffic report way too fast that you don't know what the hell the guy is saying. I know he's probably limited on time, but I'm like, he said that was where? That jam was what?
Okay, fair enough.
Whiz right through it.
If you're listening, Ian, slow it down.
I'll be sitting down in a parking lot on some highway, and they never even mentioned it. Second one is people, I'm not a sports fan, so
Okay.
maybe I don't know. I don't get it. But people refer to their favorite sports team
As ours?
as their team.
Yes.
Yeah, we ran a good game. We didn't do as good as we should. And I'm like, what do you mean we, fat man? What position do you play? Center beer fridge? So,
Hey, you know what? Hold on, Bob. I got to stop you. I actually did that this morning because I was watching the Celtics. I got my Celtics hat on today. I was just like, yeah, baby, 2 20-point lead games. I'm like, why am I talking about like I played no minutes yesterday?
we did 2 20-point games. You didn't do nothing.
I know.
You drank 20 beers.
What's your third
And
one?
The last one is sportscasters.
Okay.
When they're doing a game and the team scores a point, these guys lose it into the microphone.
It is.
And
It's a little much.
This, and the guy's just like, and he's going up and oh God, what's that? And I'm like, I don't want to be hearing this at 7:30 in the morning. I just woke up.
I will admit there is a little bit. Was it Hubie Brown does it a lot, and so does Marv Albert. When they do that, I always go, they're a little too excited. I mean, if it's a fantastic play, like it's an absolutely acrobatic, very, very athletic move, I can see the excitement, but sometimes I believe it's a little bit overkill. So I agree with you. All three of them pass muster on grievance. They're all good grievances without a doubt.
And I apologize to anybody that I might have offended because maybe I just don't get it.
No reason. You're right. It's not our team. And I caught myself doing it this morning with Boston. So it's a good call out because I do it. And I said afterwards, I went, why am I talking about it like I own it? Like I'm not an owner. So yeah, it's a good check. It's a good gut check. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you, sir.
But on the other hand, you do invest money into
that is true.
Tickets,
that is true.
So you're part owner.
You got indeed. Thank you, Bob. Let's take a break. Let's get into another check of the traffic with with Ian Stark, who may confuse the heck out of Bob and Meriden while he gives it.
Right now, anywhere from South Meadows to Crop.
You're clear.
You got a crash on northbound 91 in the area of exit 24 by 99 in Wethersfield. But the delays are really piling up in both directions, northbound and southbound. You got a lot of rubbernecking on the southbound side of the road. And it looked like this had been moved to the shoulder before, but now they're blocking at least a lane, if not two. So expect delays both ways on 91 until this clears up. And you also have typical delays on southbound.
Thank you,
91,
Fritz.
291 to 84, 84 also busy in all the usual spots between Prospect Avenue to exit 44 and the Bulkley Bridge. Expect delays on westbound too as you try to merge with 84 West. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Afternoon, it'll be sunny and pleasant on the high of 66 as one of the driest months in recorded history continues. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, it'll be cool with a low down to 44. Now, Saturday, partly sunny, windy, the high back to 66, but it'll feel much cooler with that west-northwest wind cranking along at 12 to 25 miles an hour throughout the day. Then Sunday, the wind subsides some. There'll still be a breeze out of the west-northwest to make it feel cooler, but mostly sunny, the high of 59. Plenty of sun, less wind on Monday, but cooler still with the high of 54. Then we start a nice rebound as we head toward the middle part of the week. Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high up to 64. Then Wednesday, it'll be warmer with periods of clouds and sunshine, the high all the way up to 76 on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30, Hartford temperature 63 degrees under sunny skies. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The firefight continues on Lamentation Mountain in Berlin. Crews say they're making progress with the Hawthorne brush fire. The hope is they'll have it largely under control by the end of the weekend. Governor Lamont has declared a state of emergency as a result of this dry weather that has led to increased fire danger throughout the state. Lamont says they are strongly encouraging residents not to do or to avoid actually any type of outdoor burning that poses high risk of fire. FEMA offering a 75% reimbursement grant toward suppression costs. Officials say they're confident they've been able to meet that $330,000 threshold to secure the grant. Community getting ready to say goodbye to Robert Sharkovich Sr., the Wethersfield volunteer firefighter, died when he was involved in a UTV accident while battling the fire on Tuesday. Calling hours are Sunday in Wethersfield. His funeral is Monday at the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Hartford. 4 astronauts are back on Earth after a space station mission that lasted almost 8 months. A SpaceX capsule carrying the crew that is parachuted into the Gulf of Mexico off the Florida coast before dawn today. And Grateful Dead bassist Phil Lesh has died. Lesh was a founding member of the group out of San Francisco in the mid-'60s, sang harmonies and occasional lead vocals. He was a member of the band from its inception, later fronting his own Phil Lesh and Friends group. Phil Lesh was 84. On Wall Street, the Dow finished down 259 points today. The Nasdaq was up 103. The S&P down 1 point. World Series Game 1 tonight from Dodger Stadium. It's the Yankees and the LA Dodgers from Chavez Ravine. In the NBA tonight, the Knicks home opener at the Garden against their friends the Indiana Pacers. The Nets in Orlando. And in the NHL, the Isles are at the Devils. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. It seems like everything we hear these days is about political races, and yet there's a far more important race that you run for yourself every day. It's the race to be the best you can be. But if your libido is low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you've got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're losing that race, and maybe even that your best days are behind you. But the truth is that they're likely not. Because if you're feeling like this, it's probable you're suffering from low testosterone, a condition that affects a huge percentage of men. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. We've successfully treated thousands of men for the condition, and if you're like most guys, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. Better sleep patterns, higher energy, improved mental clarity, more productive workouts, and your libido will likely increase as well. So get back to winning your race by calling us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore.
1 minute.
Just one subscription.
Got it.
Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, folks, it is just a little while, well, we're halfway through the show. That's the best way to put it. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. At the other side of this break, I'm going to take your phone calls, of course, at 860-522-WTIC, because it is
the airing of grievances.
Friday on News Talk 1080 WTIC. So air your grievance if you'd like. But I'm also going to talk about the Washington Post and the LA Times on the opposite side. But before we get there, I want to say this. And this might tick off a couple of people. So I'm ready for your response to what I'm about to say. Let's get it ready. Clear the palate. I hate Bruce Springsteen. I cannot stand this guy. I've never liked anything about Bruce Springsteen. I know there are some people out here who are Springsteen fans. Hey, the boss. I don't care. I've never thought this guy was worth a bit of the talent everyone said he has. I don't care about a concert. I don't care about an album. I don't care about a song. In fact, the only song I ever liked by Bruce Springsteen was Dancing in the Dark. And then I heard him do a cover that could only be described as a very poor William Hung version of that song during a campaign rally for Kamala Harris. And I'm listening to this guy. This goes higher, even if it's just dancing in the dark, with a guitar. It sounded so awful. He should have been booed off the Gong Show. I cannot stand. When I was a kid, I'll never forget it. I was in the 5th or the 6th grade. I had this Scholastic reader, and we had to read this play out loud. And the boy who was in the play with this girlfriend, it had something to do with their dating or some nonsense. Anyway, we had to read it in school, and the boy was always playing Bruce Springsteen covers. And in the song, it was like, he then went on to play another Bruce Springsteen song. So as a young kid, I didn't even know who Bruce Springsteen was. And I was like, who's this Bruce Springsteen guy? Is he made up? Is he a real person? And then the Born in the USA thing comes out. It's kind of like, whatever. Okay, guy, he likes baseball and he likes America. So what? But I never really got anything about him. And then he did that god-awful song, Pink Cadillac. What was that about? Ugh. And then it just everything about him just seemed. But then what really irked me about this guy was that Philadelphia song. Remember that Philadelphia song for the movie Philadelphia? Remember that? That was the one that got me, because everyone said it was such a great song. No, it wasn't. It was an awful song. It was a god-awful song. But everybody raves about it, and they talk about Bruce Springsteen like everything he's ever put out is like the most important works ever. Let me tell you something. I don't like Bob Seger anyway, at all, but he's far better than Bruce Springsteen, who I believe is a cheap version of that. And to go one step further, you know who's a cheap version of Bruce Springsteen? John Cougar Mellencamp. It's like, and a cheaper version of John Cougar Mellencamp is whatever the hell John Bon Jovi's doing today. So I just want to say, I hate Bruce Springsteen. But if you like him and you want to tell me off about it, you can. 860-522-WTIC. Again, 860-522-9842. Now, let's get another check of the traffic with Ian Stark.
91 is your major problem right now. You got heavy.
You're clear.
Anywhere from exit 28 in South Meadows for the Berlin Turnpike and northbound from 9 in Cromwell. This is all because of a crash on the northbound side in Weathersfield. In the area of exit 24 by 99. Traffic is slowing down both ways. Northbound because lanes are blocked. Southbound because people are rubbernecking. So expect these kind of problems until everything picks up there. 91 southbound slows down from 291 to 84 as well. That's just typical rush hour traffic, as is what's happening on 84 with delays between Prospect Avenue and exit 44 and the Bulkley Bridge. You're also seeing some westbound delays on 84 by exit 33 in Plainsville due to some debris there by exit 33. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. Up tonight under partly cloudy skies, it'll be quite cool.
Which Golden Girl does he look like now, Michael B?
Saturday, pleasant temps, but a busy west-northwest wind at 12 to 25 miles an hour throughout the day. The high of 66. The combination of gusty winds, low humidity, and dry brush will result in a high fire threat Saturday as well. Sunday, mostly sunny. It'll be cooler, less windy, but still breezy, so that high of 59 will likely feel like low to mid-50s. Plenty of sun on Monday, less windy, a little cooler, the high of 54. Then a nice warm-up as we head toward the middle of the week. On Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sun, the high 64. Warmer with periods of clouds and sun on Wednesday, the high up to 76. Right now, Bristol at 63, Mansfield 61, Hartford 63. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
This October, Odyssey and Hartford Healthcare Cancer Institute are teaming up to save lives. Your donation can help provide free mammograms for women in need. Donate at lightthemonthpink.org. That's lightthemonthpink.org, because every gift makes a difference.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Natural disasters happen every
Dorothy.
year. Fires, hurricanes,
I
tornadoes.
think you're right.
And with that, your most important moments
think
recorded
you're
on
right.
VHS, camcorder tapes, and 8mm could all be gone in an instant. Cherished moments like your wedding, baby's first steps, family trips to Yellowstone, lost. Enter Legacy Box. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box protects your
Thank you.
irreplaceable memories from the threat of natural disaster by digitally preserving them onto thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud.
So I got
they're
Joe
safe
and-
forever. Legacy
Right,
Box
Joe
is
and
the
Tim, right?
safest and easiest way to protect.
Yeah, and
which is why
Mike now too in Plainville.
1 million families. Send Legacy Box your home movies, photos, and film. Their team of trained professionals will do the rest right here in the U.S. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering radio listeners an incredible 50% off. Go to legacybox.com/value and save 50% when you digitize your memories. That's legacybox.com/value.
Brought to you by Ulta Beauty.
We've brought the Emerald City to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations.
10 seconds.
Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Woo! Oh, you gotta turn that up. Come on, Justin. Don't be shy. That's the track right there. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Little Dr. Dre beat there. I feel like we should go to the phones first before I talk about the Washington Post and the LA Times. So I'll do that. Let's go to Joe in New Hampshire. How you doing, Joe?
Hey, Reese. I got shut down the other day before I could get to. I was talking about the cheap date on Hugh-Blind Mountain and the paragliding.
Yes, you were kind of long-winded there.
I mean, I called for something more important than that, but that was a good story. The thing about Springsteen, Taylor Swift is the idol of women, and he seems to be like the idol of men. But the thing is, I remember back in the 80s, that's when he really hit his top.
Sure, yeah.
But I never thought any of his top hits were that great. Hungry Heart was okay.
Yeah, good song.
Born in the USA was okay.
Top
because
40.
It was like a patriotic. But the guy has no voice, and the one person he reminded me of who only had one big hit back in 1965 before your time, but I'm sure you've heard the song. It was when Vietnam was starting to heat up. Barry Maguire, Eve of Destruction, gravelly voice.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's what I always thought that, Bruce Springsteen to me proved that if you could hold a melody or you could at least belt out a melody with his voice, he proved that you didn't have to be like a songbird, right? You didn't have to actually be able to sing in order to be.
Barry Maguire had a gravelly voice, and he had that one big hit. It was number one for like 2 months. And that hit went further than any of Bruce Springsteen's so-called number one hits. So Barry Maguire was an equal singer, but he had a better song.
Yeah.
But Springsteen's in his 70s now, and it's almost like a status thing. His tickets go on sale. They're gone in an hour or two, and people can say, I got tickets for Bruce Springsteen
Right.
and such, and that's supposed to give you status, but there's nothing behind it. He's like a paper tiger for musical ability.
Yeah.
The guy that really carried his E Street Band was the big black dude with the saxophone.
Clarence. What the heck is Clarence's last name? Somebody's going to tell me in the chat room. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I grew up with everyone in my neighborhood talking about Clarence. Clarence was the big deal there. I want to say Clarence Clemens.
Yeah, Clarence Clemens. He was the draw, and without him, Springsteen might not have gotten to home plate. But here's the things I wanted to really call you about. You mentioned that earlier. I'm glad someone agrees with me that I can't stand Springsteen. He's almost a billionaire for what, other than the people that vote for Hillary Clinton and the people that vote for what's her name, and of course he's out there on the stage trying to get her elected, Kamala.
Yeah.
The people that vote for those people are the ones that love Springsteen. I mean, they all go together.
But that was, you know what? Hold on, let me stop you there. That's the thing that I don't get about this. There were these guys, when I was growing up, guys like Springsteen, John Cougar Mellencamp. These guys were doing stuff on television. Hey, I'll even go so far as the hair band era of Bon Jovi. When I watched these guys, I saw them as the establishment hated them, right? That they look at their wild hair, look at their hats on backwards, all of that stuff, that they were anti-establishment heroes. To watch these guys now be with the rich elites, now that they've got the bucks, they've got the social status, they turned into the same crotchety old stooges that they used to, sort of push against. That's right, Lori, useful idiots. I told you, the one thing I never understood about Chuck D from Public Enemy is that I grew up listening to him say, fight the power. To watch that guy on a presidential campaign hyping the powers that be completely, I'm in my 50s. I'm not supposed to be looking at these guys conform. These guys were my cultural heroes. They were like, screw the system. Now they're like, we're a part of the system. Like they all got mind melded.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, quickly, these things are important. The caller on the stock market, the anniversary, 95 years.
Yeah.
Today, the market, you followed the market today. This morning, it was on smoke. It was on fire. The S&P was up 52 this morning.
Saw it.
Well, guess what? It closed down 2. So anytime on a Friday afternoon you get the S&P reversing 54 points, that's trouble.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen, this is a fact, after the election, earnings are coming out with companies. And the companies that are going up with earning reports, they're all going up. Why? They announced they're going to be laying off 5,000, 18,000, 22,000. Companies are laying off even though their stock price goes up because of that, because the stockholders say, great, they're trimming down. But
sure.
It's a bad sign for the economy. But the majority of companies are holding off on their laying off announcements till after November 5th. There's going to be massive layoff announcements, and that's when you really see things go south. So that's the market. My UVIX did beautiful today. It was up another 11%. UVIX. And now the last thing that I called yesterday for, Montauk, Long Island. Remember I talked about Camp Zero? And those
Camp Zero, yes.
Dr. Okay, I'm doing more research on it. I went on the internet. They had a documentary for 2 hours. They 4 survivors of Camp Hero, they treated children like they treat lab rats, but they were abducting children and kidnapping children off the streets, especially in New York City, but even in Connecticut and New York City for 2 decades. Now, there's a girl that was missing in Towland here back in 1974. Her name was Janice Pocket. I think she was 8 or 9 years old. She was exactly what they were looking for. They started this abduction around 1970, and they closed it down supposedly in 1983. Over 100,000 children missing or abducted went through Camp Hero during those 2, 1970, 1983, and it was all mind control. They messed with their brains. They gave them psychedelic drugs. They broke them down. They tortured them.
Joe, what's the name of the documentary?
Montauk, the Montauk Chronicles.
Okay.
You can get it on the internet. Check out Montauk Chronicles. But here's the thing. Remember that guy that opened up on the train in Long Island years ago?
Yeah, Colin, what was his name?
Ferguson.
Colin Ferguson, that's right.
He's in the documentary. One of the 4 survivors that this person interviewed said that Colin Ferguson was one of the children when he was a child that was put through Camp Hero on Montauk, and he was one of the ones that was released to later do what he did. They're all like ticking time bombs out there.
Okay, I gotta go, but I am gonna watch that. I'll fill you in. I'll let you know this weekend that I watched it. Let me get to Tim before we get out of here. Tim in Hamden is on the. Tim in Hamden's on the line. I haven't had him back here in a while. What's going on, Tim?
Well, first, I called about voting, but first off, anybody who thinks that Bruce Springsteen's song "Born in the USA" is a patriotic song is not listening to the lyrics, which is why it was so stupid for Ronald Reagan to try and play it at his rallies, thinking it was about people coming back and feeling, from Vietnam and not getting able to get jobs. And
yes, it was an anti-war song.
It was an anti-war song, and it was a pro, lower class and middle class song. But I called basically about someone called a little while ago claiming to have been at one time a voter working with the systems. First off,
Okay, you were talking about, hold on, you're talking about Nikki. You said so-called. Do you even know this person?
What she said. No, I don't know this.
Then don't make any, hold on. Make no sweeping indictments about people you don't know.
Well, let me say that anybody who does call up and says, that people, with no ID get to vote, and everything, those ballots are put into a conditional bag to begin with.
How do you know that?
Not automatic. It's the law.
Wait, no. Oh, hey. Wait, Tim, stop. It's the law is your argument? So's not murdering anyone.
So, yeah.
What does that mean?
Don't cut me off. You have Republicans and Democrats working the polls. There is paid for by the local town, a Republican and a Democratic.
Tim, stop for a second. Hold on. Let me ask you a question before you go off in the weeds. Because first of all, you're going down a road where you're about to get exposed. And let me tell you why you're getting exposed, okay? You are not omnipotent. You are not this person who is the surveyor of everything. Right now, we are dealing with county after county where people are doing nefarious things with the ballot in early. I just played audio earlier. You got to let me finish.
I'm only talking about Connecticut.
Stop. You don't know any. First of all, you are not in every precinct in Connecticut. Your reach is not even that far.
Every precinct is. You going to cut me off?
Tim, you are not. Okay, concede one thing. Are you at every precinct? Yes or no?
So are there Republican
yes or no?
Peoples and everything? You go off on the weeds yourself.
I'm not off on the weeds. You said that there is no fraud happening. Tell me how you know.
No. I never said that.
What are you saying?
I never said that.
Then what are you saying?
I'm saying if you call up and think that people just with no ID vote automatically.
How do you know that they don't?
The Republicans.
How do you know, Tim? Listen to me. Someone called and said
something for me.
Tim,
why don't you call the Secretary of State?
Why don't you stop for a second? I said to you, a woman called up and said something is happening. She's witnessed it happening. And you just said, having never met her, knowing nothing about her life experience.
I doubt it.
Again, so just say that. Just say, I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Thank you.
I doubt the other part where she says hello.
Yeah? You doubt what other part? Did you cut him off?
No, I should still be there.
Okay, Tim, you're not cut off unless you hung up on yourself. Okay, you know what, Tim? Call back. So, are you there? Tim, you sound like you're there. Okay, maybe he's not there. It's like, what? If you want to refute it with the actual evidence. Saying that I doubt that it happens means what? You can doubt anything. Nobody said that you had to believe her. She is telling people that it is happening. You can doubt a lot of things. I'm sure you believe that Michael Brown had his hands up and said, don't shoot, right? Look, there's a lot of things that we could all doubt. But don't call here and say, somebody called in. What are you, like the call police? Somebody calls up and you've got to refute what they said, having no experience, no background on where they come from, what they've seen, and how they've lived. You get to come up and just so that's not happening. Just without challenge, you just say, no, it's not happening. Her lived experience is false. Tim, what happened to believe all women? What happened? Huh? Bubby? Huh? Bubala? What happened? What happened to believe all women? I'm sorry. Patrick is in West Springfield. Let's take him real quick. What's going on, Patrick?
Yeah, this is Patrick.
How are you, sir?
You're talking to a guy that saw Buddy Holly and the Crickets, the Big Bopper.
Oh, man.
And that crew at the Old State Theater in Hartford.
Okay. All right. So, I'm sorry. You say again, Patrick, you are whom?
My quote for Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
Is he takes 2 minutes to write his songs.
Wow. That's a good point.
When I hear him on the radio, I just switch it off.
Taking 2 minutes to write a song in an era, and it's funny that you say that. I miss the days where guys used to talk about how they, background, where the song came from, a life experience, something they witnessed, a story. I love the days of that. But you're right, 2-minute songwriting, that's not much.
And my son feels the same way.
Much appreciated.
I mean,
Patrick.
You're talking to a guy in his 80s. I saw Elvis in 75. I've seen the Rolling Stones like 12 times.
Now you're talking.
I've seen everybody.
Now you're talking. This conversation about Bruce Springsteen is perfect.
I wouldn't go see him if the guy gave me tickets.
I will tell you this. Let me tell you something. Patrick, you'll either like or hate this story. When I was a kid, we just talked about this the other day on the 5 o'clock Focus. What was an awful job that you had or a small job you did that was weird? I got paid to sit on a ticket line to buy tickets for concerts to give them to scalpers, and scalpers would sell them. The two artists that I did it for were Billy Joel and Bruce Springsteen out in Long Island. Both of those, I stood online for the concert tickets for scalpers so they could scalp those tickets. They made good money, and I got paid really well, but I knew not one song by Bruce Springsteen at the time. I was like, who? They were like, Bruce Springsteen. I was like, is he popular? They were like, yes, he's huge. I'm like, okay. So, never been a fan. I thought he was awful.
John Mellencamp?
I actually bought one John Cougar Mellencamp album, Cherry Bomb. That was the only album I ever bought because there were a lot of songs on that album that I liked. But that was probably the extent of my like of John Cougar Mellencamp.
I saw him in Hartford, and you know what? I hear him now, and I just don't like his music anymore.
Going back and listening to it, you kind of feels like, wow, was I young and dumb?
I mean,
thank you, sir.
Hey,
yes, sir. Real quick.
First time I've been on this show.
Oh, well, thank you, Patrick. You know what? That deserves a round of applause.
Well, I'm 86 years old.
Well, that deserves commending as well, and we appreciate you listening to the show, and I hope you will continue
Thanks for taking my call.
You got it. We hope that you continue to enjoy. All right, we'll be back. Thank you, sir. We've got more news, more views, and, of course, your phone calls, so stick around if they're coming in. Yeah, they're there. So keep them coming. Airing of grievances, as you know, that is, where's my audio? There it is.
The airing of grievances.
Yeah, if you got an airing of a grievance that you'd like to get out, do it now. Get on the phones, 860-522-WTIC before the weekend comes. We'll be back after this. Oh, sorry, we'll be back at the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. This report brought to you. Leonard, you still have heavy traffic on northbound 91 from Cromwell to Wethersfield, and that is due to a crash in the area of exit 24 by 99, so you have delays all the way back to Route 9 southbound. The rubbernecking has kind of disappeared, but still northbound is a problem. You also have southbound delays on 91 from 291 into 84, and 84 slow both ways between Prospect Avenue and exit 44 and the Bulkley Bridge, and you have westbound delays on 84 in Plainville by exit 33 by 72 due to some debris on the right lane. This week, Stu Leonard's has two great deals on the Stu's app. Their mighty beef porterhouse steaks are only $9.99 per pound. You save $5. Plus, fresh all-natural whole chicken legs are only 99 cents per pound. That's half price. Traffic weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
To you by True Law. SickVets.com. WTIC weather.
Rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be sunny and pleasant. The high of 66 as one of the driest months in recorded history continues. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, it'll be cool with the low down to 44. Now, Saturday, partly sunny, windy, the high back to 66, but it'll feel much cooler with that west-northwest wind cranking along at 12 to 25 miles an hour throughout the day. Then Sunday, the wind subsides some. There'll still be a breeze out of the west-northwest to make it feel cooler, but mostly sunny, the high of 59. Plenty of sun, less wind on Monday, but cooler still with the high of 54. Then we start a nice rebound as we head toward the middle part of the week. Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high up to 64. Then Wednesday, it'll be warmer with periods of clouds and sunshine, the high all the way up to 76 on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has
I'll be right
updates
back.
from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Governor Lamont has declared a state of emergency in Connecticut due to the extremely dry conditions that have helped feed several brush fires across the state. He says the last 2 months have been inordinately dry, and that's increasing the fire danger. The declaration means state and local emergency officials will be provided with tools to monitor and limit fires. In addition, FEMA is expected to help as well with a reimbursement in the Berlin firefight. It will kick in up to 75% of the costs for battling the Hawthorne fire, including costs for the 3 choppers that have been dropping water on the fire zone. And there are hopes, some hopes by the end of the weekend, fire crews will have a better handle on the fire that has charred a portion of the Lamentation Mountain in Berlin. 3 helicopters, ground crews have been pouring water on the fire to prevent further spread and damage. The fire is near some popular hiking trails in Meriden where people have been walking. Assistant Meriden Fire Chief Brendan Noonan with this message.
And the most important thing that we can say right now for the residents of Meriden, for people in the area, is to please stay away from that area so we can have safe operations to get this out as quickly as possible, especially with the red flag warnings for the next couple of days.
Although several residential areas are near the burning mountain, evacuations are not being ordered. At this time, sprinklers are being used to keep those areas around homes wet so fire does not spread there. Texas takes center stage in the presidential campaign today. More from correspondent Scott McFarland.
This is a platform for the vice president to try to make a statement to all the battleground states at once. Having Beyonce on the marquee as well doesn't hurt. Having a laser focus, as the campaign says, on women's reproductive rights really synthesizes into what the campaign wants to be a closing message. Doing this in concert with a new advertisement which accuses Donald Trump of being singularly responsible for the overturning of Roe versus Wade in 2022.
CBS's Libby Caffey on what the former president plans.
Donald Trump taking his message there to this border state and focusing on immigration as he's done really throughout the entirety of the campaign, but really emphasizing that rhetoric and amping it up in the closing days here. Last night in Nevada, also talking about immigration, describing this country as, quote, infected, saying that he alone can fix it, and is offering to bring back this law, this centuries-old law, this Alien Enemies Act, to do mass deportation.
Governor Lamont calling for an independent audit of the Connecticut State Colleges and University system. It comes in light of an investigation from CT Insider into the spending habits of the system's chancellor, Terrence Cheng. Among other things, the Insider reports Cheng charged for expensive meals and chauffeured rides, as well as violating state rules by allowing someone other than Cheng to drive a state vehicle. Lamont says the report has raised what he said are serious concerns about transparency and accountability. Lamont wants the audit to include a report of purchases using procurement cards and a review of meal and entertainment expenditures. Close race being revisited in a state house district representing Plainville, Farmington, and Southington. Republican Francis Cooley beat Democrat Rebecca Martinez by 53 votes 2 years ago. They're facing off again. Both candidates say they are focused on the high cost of living. Cooley backed the income tax cut passed last year, but would like to see more.
I think we got the best deal that we could have gotten at that time. I would like to see more cuts coming in the future.
Martinez wants to cut costs for seniors.
I think we need to look at doing anything we can to continue to lower prescription costs and taxes for our seniors. And one of those avenues would be, to do what we can to secure funding to lower property taxes.
Wall Street, the Dow finished down 259 points today. NASDAQ up 103, S&P down a point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing...
1 minute.
station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety.
Did you say 1 minute?
That's why when questions are there's Granger. Granger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Bill Rogers was one of the world's best marathon runners. His storied career began on Main Street in Manchester. In 1965, as a sophomore at Newington High School, Rogers placed 18th and won the high school title at the Manchester Road Race. It was the first road race he ever ran. Rogers went on to win the Boston Marathon,
10 seconds.
City Marathon 4 times each. His Beantown victories were so frequent that sports writers nicknamed him Boston Billy. See where it all started. Sign up now at ManchesterRoadRace.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't forget, folks.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
If you'd like to get in on the airing of grievances, get on the phones now, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. You can also join us in the chat room by going to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. You can friend us on Facebook, go to Twitter or X, and you can also go to Rumble, where we're on there live. Also, like and share the program online if you could. We'd appreciate it. Not that we just want to share it with other people. We're not trying to I don't want you to do the work for me. I've got to promote this show as much as I possibly can, along with the folks at WTIC. But if you like the show and you'd like to share it with some of your friends, hey, check out this guy, Reese. I'd appreciate it. It'd be nice for us and the network to do that. Let me say this because I got a minute before I say this. I don't understand hall monitors. I never have. I don't understand it. Now, when it's important, I believe that you should tell. Somebody's committing a crime? Yeah, of course. If you witness something that some innocent person suffered, yes, you should help that individual. You don't have to personally get involved, like physically, but you should report that. I saw this, someone got hurt and, give the information. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. But hall monitors are another thing. Hall monitors spending their life talking about, I heard someone said this about. I've experienced this a couple of times here on the network where I'll get an email or I'll get a message from someone and it'll be like, someone said that they heard this. Okay, calm the freak down. Somebody said something. Please don't be a hall monitor. Just don't. I'm not going to call you a Karen. I'm not going to call you other names, but stop with the hall monitoring. You're not always going to hear things that you don't like. And if this is a place where you hear things that you don't like, go somewhere else. Kindly. Go somewhere else. I'm okay with that, as is everyone else. Other than that, enjoy. It's a good show. We have a lot of fun here. But please, don't whine. It's unbecoming. Now let's take another check of the traffic. Or have another check of the traffic with Ian Stark at the BPS Traffic Center.
You're clear.
Bound 91 from Cromwell to Wethersfield due to an accident near exit 24. And that is over by 99. Lanes are blocked, so as a result, you're delayed all the way back to 9. But if you're heading southbound, the delays through the area have eased up. The rubber decking seems to have ceased. You still have your typical delays southbound on 91, anywhere from 291 to 84. However, in 84, busy as usual. For between the Bulkley Bridge and Prospect Avenue at exit 44. So if you're on westbound 2, you try to merge with 84 West. It is a very crowded scene indeed. And then you have more westbound delays on 84 heading into Plainville by exit 33 by 72. And it looks like there's some westbound delays on 72 as well. And this is a combination of some debris in the right lane and I think some sun glare affecting traffic as well. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, tonight under partly cloudy skies, quite cool with the low down to 43. Then Saturday, partly sunny, windy. It'll be mild, the high of 65, but the west-northwest winds at 12 to 25 miles an hour, making it feel cooler. The combination of gusty winds, low humidity, and dry brush will result in a high fire threat on Saturday as well. Sunday, less windy, but still breezy, mostly sunny. The high 59, likely to feel more like low and mid 50s with the wind factored in throughout the day. On Monday, plenty of sunshine, just a light breeze, the high of 58. Then a warm up as we make our way toward the middle of the week. Pleasant Tuesday with clouds and sun, the high of 64. Warmer with clouds and sun Wednesday up to 78. Halloween, all treats and no tricks. Sunny to partly cloudy, the high of 79 for the trick-or-treaters. Right now, it is 59 in Mansfield, 63 in Granby, 63 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For trusted local care for your whole family, call 1-855-CT-MD-411 or visit ProHealthMD.com.
Hey, it's Michael Smirkanish. Business owners, have you
1 minute
on your social media and online efforts? Why not tap into podcasts?
What's the station
and radio?
address again?
My friends
10
at
what?
Radioactive Media know the recipe to launch
1080.
and scale.
No.
performance by
Physical
building
station.
compelling audio campaigns which work.
Oh, the address. Hold on.
511. If you're a mid-sized company or well-funded startup with a monthly budget as low as 5 figures, text the word profits to 511-511.
10 Executive Drive, Farmington, Connecticut.
That's what I thought.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home, the real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
We're back. Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Little DeWick for you there. All right, we got the phone lines back up, and we'll get to those in a second. In this hour, of course, don't forget, we got the airing of grievances. Also, don't forget, we got the weekend show on Sunday, which will air at 5 p.m. at WTIC. Of course, you can listen on your radio or just download the Odyssey app or go to WTIC.com. If you miss it, it airs simultaneously, commercial-free, at ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. That's just like Reese's Pieces. Sorry, I forgot the commercial screen is on. Thank you, B. So airing of grievances, we got all of that stuff. What's the other thing? Oh, yeah, I'm working on a spot for us to hang out. So here's the deal. What I want to do is Wednesday after the election. I think it's only right that we do it immediately after the election. Wednesday. That after the show, we go hang out. I don't need to do any big, no big event or anything like that. So if you want to go out, grab a bite, sit down, talk. Hey, Reese, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you'll get yourself a beverage. Maybe you'll have a quick bite. All of that good stuff, you can do it. We're trying to figure out one spot to go so that people don't have to travel too far. But you can come out and you can hang. Somebody said we can hang out at Tim's house. I don't think he'd appreciate that. But anyway, we're going to find a spot for everybody to come and just hang out, just walk in. You don't have to make it a big event. You just come in and say, hey, Reese, give me a little dap, say what's up, shoot the breeze, and all that good stuff, and, we just get the, do something. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a lot of people. I don't know if it's going to be a few people. It could be as little as 20, but it could be as many as 100 of you. I am not suggesting that it would be that many. I'm not. But if you'd like to, just so I know, because I don't want to inundate a location and all of a sudden it's like, it's a large group of people. If you are interested, okay, send me an email or send me just a message. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com and say, hey, Reese, I can make myself available after 6 p.m. on Wednesday after the election. I'd like to come, so at least I'd have a head count, if that makes any sense. so I can get a head count of who wants to go. Again, go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE. Just leave us a comment there. You'll see it in the suggestions or in the comment section. Just leave us a mention and says, hey, Reese, I'd like to come Wednesday night. We know it's going to be Wednesday night after 6 p.m. And like I said, it's not going to be a long event. We're not going to hang out all night. Everybody's got work. So maybe just a couple of hours hanging out at one place where people can come in and we can shoot the breeze, as I said. Now, back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Fred is in Middletown. Thanks for holding, Fred. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. So I originally called to point out that Bob Duff hasn't been back. And
has he not been back? He hasn't been back from
on
where?
Your show.
Oh, no, he's never coming
your
back.
Show. Yeah, he's never coming back.
He's never
I thought
coming
he
back.
Would be back.
Did you hear why
Yeah.
he's never coming back?
No, tell me about
Well,
it.
he
please.
took a picture on Twitter where he had a waltz hat. He had a waltz hat on his head.
Yeah.
It was I guess it was a Kamala Harris and Tim Waltz hat on his head, and I sent him a picture to go with his camouflage Harrison Waltz hat, and the T-shirt said, "I'm with stupid," and the and the caption read, "I found the shirt for you." So he's never coming back on the show.
And that's all it took. Yeah, you see, he wouldn't come back anyway. Yeah, that's all it took. Yeah.
And then he was bragging about going to get another booster shot, which again, I'm going, where have you been, dude? Like, read the room. Like, are you still promoting booster shots? That's like, where are you? Anyway, but go ahead.
Wow, that's a whole topic. I just got to stop myself right there. The thing about the anti-establishments, you don't got to kill them, you can incorporate them. That's behind Rand's
that's
principle.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's paycheck. They might fight you to death, but like, hey, you want some of this? You got to start dissing pizza to get the governor on. And I didn't have a grievance until I got stuck behind Tim on hold. I mean,
that'll get it out of you. That'll wring it out of you.
It was brief, but and then just the metaphor for that is never played chess with a pigeon, because he's up there in the wire, he flies down, he steps around on the board, he clucks and pecks, he takes a dump, knocks a few pieces over, flies back, and tells his friends that he kicked your ass. And that Montauk Chronicles, I've heard that before. Yeah, that's Donovan's Dreamers would be another thing that would run along with that in previous generation. Yeah, that's some hot stuff. What was the caller's name? I know his name. Who said that? Who's spitting that?
Oh, that was Joe.
Joe, the Montauk callers? Oh.
Yeah, we're talking about Montauk. Yeah, that was Joe. Joe in
the Montauk Chronicles.
Yeah, the Montauk Chronicles. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's just amazing how you forget a caller's name like right after. You use them every
indeed.
day,
But that's what the fact I never would have made that connection with Colin Ferguson, and now to know that listen to me, that story about Colin Ferguson in the Long Island Railroad shooting. That story was so compelling. The craziest thing was when you thought that story couldn't get any wilder was him representing himself in court. Yeah. And the one line, this is the one that always stuck out to me, and many people will remember that trial, was when he was questioning one of the witnesses, and I think it was a pregnant woman who had been shot. When he was cross-examining her, he said to her, "Are you certain that I was the one who shot you?" And she said yes. And I think he said something along the lines of, "How can you be certain?" And she says, "Because I saw you shoot me." It was something along those lines. It was the most, I remember that as a kid going, is this guy a lunatic? And, well, of course he was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought he was a complete lunatic. But the fact that he said that he was going to represent himself, I thought was the most insane. I thought I'd seen it all at that point, but that was an insane trial.
MK Ultra, baby.
Indeed. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Bye-bye. Let's go to Frank in Newington. How are you, sir? Frank?
Please?
Hey, Frank.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you guys had my name.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, listen, okay, this is just going to be a quick grievance and everything, but it's a two-part, has two different, both people sides are all pissing me off.
Okay, go for it.
This has to do with, I think, a week or two ago when you guys were talking about the Chris Murphy commercial. I walk across the Connecticut every year and I hear the same blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And you guys said, Chris, get the idea that you're hearing the same stuff because you're not doing anything?
Exactly.
Well, you know what the problem is all our elected officials in Washington and some of them up in here in Connecticut are being elected every year and doing the same nothing.
Yeah, you're
They're
absolutely
not
right.
solving any problems. So my one great grievance is with all those elected officials who are tying up government money to do absolutely nothing, saying they're listening to us and everything. And the other grievance is with the voters who keep voting these dum-dums into office.
That's right. Exactly. Traveling across the state to talk about what ails them, and he keeps hearing the same thing, and then he goes back and he does the same thing. Nothing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wish he would put his itinerary on where he's going to be walking so we can all be out at the side of the road. So when he comes by, I go, hey, Chris, how about you tell me how you're going to fix this problem? You've been in office for umpteen years and everything, and you're doing nothing. And maybe
Exactly.
while you're at it, why don't you talk to Dick Blumenthal, who was an attorney and obviously forgot what the word illegal means, because if you ever notice, I hate to say it, every time someone who's been in the country for, 20, 30 years is getting deported because they never got their green card, and he's always got this hand on their shoulder saying, it's going to be okay.
Oh.
I'm going to fight to get you to stay here. And I'm sitting there going, guys, the guy had 20 years to get his green card. Obviously, he didn't want it bad enough. So you know what? Kick him back out.
Exactly.
And I mean,
What waiting line was he on?
Rude. I'm not being mean because I know somebody whose mother was in the country for 30 years and got deported back to Mexico, and her kids were mad as hell about it, saying, well, we got to go to Mexico to visit mom. And I said, not to play the devil's advocate, but why didn't she take a couple years and get her green card?
Exactly.
Then she never had this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem.
Yep.
These guys, they sit here and they don't get their green card. And then what happens is when they're getting deported, like I said, all our elected officials come and stand behind them going, we're going to fight the people in the office in here because they've been great people.
What it turns into, Frank, is tomorrow turns into the next 20 years, the next 30 years. Yeah. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. Good point.
And like I said, we've been voting them into office. So maybe if all the listeners are out there, even if they are Democrats or,
or anything, yeah.
Now, please get them out of here because they're obviously not doing it except they getting a paycheck. And did you know this for a fact? I don't know. You probably do. But did you know that if you serve 2 terms in office down in Washington, you could retire and collect a pension.
Yep.
And your whole family can get health benefits for the rest of their lives as long as you're alive.
Man.
And the average, and this is something that your listeners are going to really love to hear this one, is the average retirement pay that they get is $145,000 as a pension.
Don't even, okay, don't.
2 terms.
I was doing okay for my Friday. I was doing okay for my Friday, Frank. You're killing me now.
All you got to do is serve 2 terms, and you're all set for life.
Yep, indeed. At taxpayer expense. These guys never have to get a regular job ever. Thank you, buddy. Let's go to Bill in Southington. How you doing, Bill?
Airing of grievances, Reese. State of Connecticut, your income tax. I know that the state of Connecticut's in debt, and they have billions in unfulfilled liabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the top paid employees in the state of Connecticut?
You mean state employees, right? Not regular employees.
State employees.
Oh, I don't know. Probably no. It can't be the governor. It can't be.
No, it's the coaches for UConn.
Yeah.
Isn't that an absolute travesty?
You can't. You know what? Listen to me. You know that's the Holy Grail. That's the Holy Grail.
Oh, I know it is. I know it is. It's absolutely disgusting. Go out, take the money you make from tickets, do it with your tuition, sell candy bars, shirts, whatever you have to do.
Well, let me ask you this, right? With all of the pay, so obviously, listen, UConn basketball makes a lot of money. The coaches make a lot of that revenue because of the ticket sales and all that good stuff, right? I'm sure there are. Now, these paychecks are not coming from the taxpayer, right?
It's taxpayer funded.
When you say taxpayer funded, you mean the
UConn.
college. UConn is taxpayer funded.
Right.
The
and
sports
it funnels down into their salaries.
Yeah, but see, now I would even ask the question, because I don't know this, but I would ask the question how much of it is going into their salary. Because I'm saying this, if the coach is making $10 million and we find out that $2 million of that is funded by the taxpayer, I'd remove that. You know what I mean? Like, it would have to be from the actual revenue that UConn pulls in through ticket sales, jersey sales, paraphernalia, whatever that case is. You know what I mean? So if there's any of that going to, like, if any of taxpayer dollars is going to the salary of the coaches, I would say pull that. Now, I know the coaches would say, well, no, that's unfair. You're working for, it's a college, okay? I understand the incentive to stay is the fact that you're making millions of dollars in collegiate sports. But it shouldn't be that way. That's one of the biggest arguments they had in collegiate sports, were that coaches were making that kind of bank and the kids were not. Because in essence, they were the revenue builders. They were the revenue drivers. And they weren't making any money. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think
to a certain extent.
Well, how are they
extent.
not?
I remember,
the players are.
I remember Calhoun flipping his lid when somebody questioned it. I bring money in, blah, blah, blah.
What, the coach says he brings money in?
Much. Well, Calhoun was saying he somebody questioned him about it, and he was really agitated at the question about the amount of money he brings into the state because of it. It's a lot of nonsense.
I mean, look, if they believe that, and if they believe that they are the sole drivers of the economy, then I would say you got to put that down on paper for me, right? You have to justify that, like, legitimately. I have to see how that justifies where UConn brings in, like, that revenue in it. And again, how much of it are you taking and how much is the state in and of itself? Because remember, he says he's driving revenue into the state. I want to know exactly the piece of that revenue goes directly to UConn versus the state. If it's stores in and around the community, if it's other things in the community where people are actually making an income because of that, I need you to break that down. Don't just tell me because of your popularity that you deserve a bigger piece of the pie. The ends have to justify the means. Now, I know, again,
exactly.
I get that it's a powder keg to go into that because it's UConn. I get it, but as the college, professors like to say,
taxpayers' fault that
exactly.
The state can't have a pro team,
but
so they got to fall back on UConn.
But as college professors like to say, fair is fair, right? So if it's supposed to be fair, let's be fair. I don't want to hear that nonsense that says now all of a sudden, we're not fair and equitable there. Because I hear these guys get involved in those conversations all the time about we need to make things fair, we need to be equitable, we need to make sure that everybody gets everybody pays their fair share and does the right thing. Well, you know what? Then let's get to the bottom of it and make sure that everybody is doing or paying their fair share, at least to the taxpayers. The taxpayers are getting out of it what they're putting into it. I got to get to another break, but thank you, sir. I appreciate the grievance. It's a good one. Oh, and I don't care if I run aground with some folks. Some people will say, it's like, oh, that's a third rail. Good. That's exactly where I want to be. We'll take a break. Thank you. We'll take a break. But before that, let's get into the BPS Traffic Center with Ian Stark.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Still have delayed.
You clear.
91 from Cromwell to Weathersfield due to an accident near exit 24, and that is over by 99. Lanes are blocked, so as a result, you're delayed all the way back to 9. But if you're heading southbound, the delays through the area have eased up. The rubber decking seems to have ceased. You still have your typical delays southbound on 91, anywhere from 291 to 84, however, and 84 busy as usual. For between
lines
the
are probably
Bridge
full, but I'll
and
make
Prospect
sure,
Avenue
Craig,
to
you get
exit
in.
44. So if you're on westbound 2, you try to merge with 84 West. It is a very crowded scene indeed. And then you have more westbound delays on 84 heading into Plainville by exit 33 by 72. And it looks like there's some westbound delays on 72 as well. And this is a combination of some debris in the right lane and I think some sun glare affecting traffic as well. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don Cusson here. Fall is a great time to get behind the wheel and head out for some seasonal driving. With leaves on the road and rain or snow falling, driving can be hazardous. Is your car ready? Cusson Auto features Cooper and Continental tires, helping to ensure a comfortable and safe driving experience, no matter the season. Let Cusson Auto handle your next oil change, knowing our team will inspect your vehicle for all your service needs. After all, we'll do it right or not at all. Call 860-289-2389 or visit CussonAutomotive.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Governor Lamont has declared a state of emergency for Connecticut with the dry conditions that have gripped the state for the better part of 2 months and have sparked several brush fires. Day 5 of operations in Berlin as crews continue to battle the Hawthorne fire there. They say they still hope to have a hold on it by the weekend, and they continue to urge the public to stay away from the scene and also curtail any outdoor burning. Red flag warning up already for tomorrow with breezy, dry conditions expected. FEMA has approved a grant to help cover the costs. It'll provide 75% reimbursement. Choppers used in the effort are costing around $100,000 a day. Arrangements set for Robert Sharkovich Sr. He's the Wethersfield volunteer firefighter who died Tuesday in a UTV accident while on the front lines. Calling hours for Sharkovich on Sunday from 2 to 7 at Farley Sullivan Funeral Home in Wethersfield. His funeral is Monday at the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Hartford. Police in Hartford investigating a shooting just before 6 last evening. Officers were alerted to a gunshot victim who had arrived by a private vehicle at Hartford Hospital. The 19-year-old alert and conscious, now being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Food poisoning outbreak tied to McDonald's quarter-pound hamburgers has expanded, with at least 75 people sick in 13 states. The CDC says at least 22 have been hospitalized and 1 person has died. Wall Street, the Dow down 259 points today. NASDAQ was up 103. S&P closed out the week down a point. World Series Game 1 tonight from L.A. It's the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Lori, use that link I just sent you.
The home portion of their schedule against the Pacers. The Nets are in Orlando. And in the NHL, the Isles skate in Jersey against the Devils. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928.
Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
1 minute.
Disasters happen every year. Fires, hurricanes, tornadoes. And with that, your most important moments recorded on VHS, camcorder tapes, and 8mm could all be gone in an instant. Cherished moments like your wedding, baby's first steps, family trips to Yellowstone. Lost. Enter Legacy Box. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box protects your irreplaceable memories from the threat of natural disaster by digitally preserving them onto thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, so they're safe forever. Legacy Box is the safest and easiest way to preserve your past, which is why it's been trusted by over 1 million families. Send Legacy Box your home movies, photos, and film. Their team of trained professionals will do the rest right here in the U.S. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering radio listeners
10 seconds.
incredible 50% off. Go to legacybox.com/value and save 50% when you digitize your memories. That's legacybox.com/value.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio. News Talk 1080, WTIC. I get so many weird things sent to me. Oh, sometimes it's kind of weird. It's like getting, like someone's... Thank God for the internet, because if they actually mailed stuff to me, I would lose it. I'd be like, oh, my God, what the heck is this? In the early days of radio, my job in radio, people would send me stuff all the time. Oh, it's so crazy. But somebody just sent it to me. By the way, Lori, if you're having a problem you can always go to WACKFM.com. It's just WAC FM. And for those of you who are having a problem, just go to WACFM.com. That's also the same thing as ReeseOnTheRadio.com. You should be able to just put in www.reeseontheradio.com. You should be able to find it. But Lori said she was having a problem. Oh, it's because you're searching it. You can't search it. I don't have any SEO on that, so you just have to type it into your URL. So you can go. Scotty O says he wants to come to the happy hour on the 6th. Yes, Scotty O, you better be there. I would be absolutely angry if you didn't show up. So I will let you know. Yeah, we'll get to the rest of your phone calls, by the way. So if you're on hold, I think we got Chris in Berlin, Mike is in Plainfield. Yeah, so you guys hold on, I promise you. Oh, and Bill in Southington. Please, guys, stand by. We'll get to you in a second because, we're going to go back into the traffic center real quick. So I don't want to take your phone calls and cut you off. So you'll get an opportunity in a little bit. So please stay on hold. And, of course, if you want to join in on the festivities of the airing of grievances, you can do that at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Yeah, we're calling it happy hour, Fritz. That's only because Scotty O called it that, and I think technically it is. I mean, I guess you'd have to call it that. I do want to make this announcement, folks. I don't do a lot of social media stuff. Like, I don't do a lot of reels and things like that. So when I say, like and share the show, please like and share the show. Another thing that I'm noticing is that without prompting, many of you are following the show or friending me directly. Thank you. I encourage you to do that. More and more people clicking on Facebook to follow the show. Now, Instagram, you cannot follow the show there. That's why I want to make that clear. Instagram, TikTok, you can't follow the show there. But Rumble, if you are a big Rumble fan, the show is on Rumble. It is on YouTube. If you'd like to follow there, you can. I don't really promote YouTube because I got a beef with them. They went after me during COVID, and then they had to reinstate. They actually literally took down my page because of COVID, and then I had to protest because everything it is that I had said on my show, on my podcast, turned out to be true, so they had to reinstate me. Can you believe that? Of course you can. So if you'd like to like the show or friend me on Facebook, please, I encourage you. I like people when I look every time. It's like, hey, this person requested made a friend request. Please do. I encourage you to. I like when you do. And you can always engage me 24 hours a day. People hit me up with show stories all the time. Scotty O is one of them. Julie B does it a lot. So if you got something that you want to share or something you think I would have some interest in, send it to me. And again, friend us on those 3 platforms, YouTube, Rumble, and, of course, on Facebook. All right? Now, with that, we get back into the traffic with Ian Stark in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic.
You're clear.
And even though 84 is getting a little bit looser when it comes to your rush hour delays anywhere between Prospect Avenue, exit 44, and the Bulkley Bridge, you're not out of the woods yet. It's still going to be some stop-and-go moments there in either direction. So if you're on westbound 2, you're still going to have a hard time merging on the 84 West. And 91 slows down southbound from 291 to 84. But again, that is also beginning to ease. I mean, the closer we get to 6 o'clock, the faster these delays are going to start to disappear. You're also seeing traffic through the Mixmaster and 84 and Waterbury both ways. And northbound 9 still kind of crowded in New Britain from 72 up towards Cedar Street. Then look out in Glastonbury on northbound 3 as you make your way near the Main Street exit for some extra company. Traffic weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through tonight, it'll be partly cloudy and quite cool with a low down to 43. Partly sunny, windy day for Saturday. The combination of gusty winds, low humidity, and dry brush will result in a high fire threat throughout the day. The high of 65. Those west-northwest winds at 12 to 25 miles an hour throughout the day will make it feel cooler, though. Then Sunday, mostly sunny, still a bit breezy out of the west-northwest. That high of 59, likely to feel like low and mid-50s with the wind factored in throughout the day on Sunday. Monday, less wind, plenty of sun, pleasant temperatures, but still cool with a high of 58. On Tuesday, it'll be milder with a mix of clouds and sun, the high up to 64. Warmer Wednesday with clouds and sun, the high jumping up to 78. And again, all treats and no tricks, rather, for Halloween. Sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and warm, the high of 79. Right now, Meriden 57, same in Waterbury, Danbury. It's 61 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448.
If you have
1 minute.
or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-682-9928.
10 seconds.
800-682-9928. 800-682-9928.
Tax relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Woo! I gotta let this one ride out. Let me let it ride out. This is one of my favorite rock intros. It's just so perfect. Thank you for that, Jason. I appreciate you, buddy. Reese on the radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Before I end the show and go to the phone calls, because I got a lot of people on the lines, let me just say this. So apparently there is an upheaval over at the Washington Post. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. It's gone nuts over there. The LA Times, largest paper in California, has decided not to endorse a candidate this time around. Now, it's the Los Angeles Times. Of course they would have endorsed a Democrat. They chose not to endorse Kamala Harris. That is huge. Huge. But the Washington Post, the upheaval at the Washington Post is so insane. Apparently, according to the story, Jeff Bezos, owner of the Washington Post, sent out a memo to the editor's room and told them, we are not endorsing anyone this year. Because it's the Washington Post, and more than likely, they would endorse Kamala Harris. Now, that's bad. Teamsters out. LA Times out. Washington Post out. It's so bad that staffers at the Washington Post have quit. Now, they say because the paper has failed to endorse anyone. Hink, wink, wink, nod, nod. They're upset because Kamala's not getting the endorsement. Okay? That's it. Democracy dies in darkness. That's the reason why they're quitting. But they told them that's it. And again, that is huge news. Huge news. Because it's not so much that the papers endorse anyone like that means anyone, but not endorsing. And that's weird where we are in this state, like at this state of the game. A non-endorsement means more than the endorsement. Like, that's news. Can you believe that is news making? It's just interesting. Edge Jr., let me just say this. It depends on the time. All right, Ed, let me know when you're home on Friday. I promise you we'll make sure that you can be a part of something, okay? So let me know, and if anything, just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Same way you see it there in the chat room. Just go there, ReeseOnTheRadio.com, and let us know what your schedule is like. I promise we'll take care of you. We'll figure something out. All right, so with that, now let's go back to the phones. Bill is in Southington. Hey, Bill, you're on Reese on the Radio.
Bill's not there. I'll give you Mike in Plainville.
Oh, okay, Mike in Plainville. I apologize. Let's go to Mike then. Hey, Mike.
That is great news. The non-endorsement. I'm going to do a few extra push-ups tonight after hearing that.
Yeah, it's huge, man. Like, why not do it? It's not like it would matter.
I'll tell you what. Who cares who endorses who? Bruce Springsteen or Robert De Niro, who I'd like to meet in person and dress him down and ask him if he really is a tough guy and ask him some pointed questions. I wanted to see what his reaction would be, Mr. Hollywood.
I don't know what happened to some of these guys. Like I said, I look at them, and maybe I'm just so fond of my childhood that I can't escape it, that I don't understand that, maybe I need to come to terms with saying, you know what, Reese, people evolve, people change, I have to deal with that. But I don't like change. I just have to admit it. I got to be honest with you. I don't like change.
So I assume you're going to have the day after gathering in Connecticut in the Hartford area.
Absolutely, without a doubt. So please make sure that you are there.
I got a couple ideas where you could have it.
Okay, well, listen, make sure that you make it clear to me. Put it, if you can't put it on ReeseOnTheRadio.com, we have one taker, and right now it's looking good. Jay Timothy's is looking good. I know there are some people who are saying it may be too far for them, but Jay Timothy's is looking good. I'm kind of in conversation with them to see what we can work out.
I got another place in Bristol that may be ideal.
Okay. Well,
I'll
like
let
I
you
said,
know.
Yeah, let me know. I appreciate it.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Some of these people out there are so stupid. They say, "Well, look, George Clooney, he's a wonderful actor. He's endorsing so-and-so. I like him so much. Maybe I'll just vote for him, or vote for his candidate." These people are they have no clue. Come on, the answers are right out there. Every day they're out there. The border, the economy, war, crime, corruption.
Yeah.
What don't you get?
I don't. Yeah,
What don't they get?
They don't get.
What are these people looking at?
They don't get anything. They don't get a lot of things. Totally. Hey, what's the name? Hold on. I think I got this one. Where is he? Oh, no, I don't have it. I don't have the audio. I lost it. Anyway, but yeah, I had Jim Gaffigan talking about Kamala Harris and not showing up at the Al Smith dinner when he makes that claim about George. Oh, all it takes is a George Clooney op-ed in order for you to become the candidate. That was great. Thank you, sir. Let me move on to Craig's in the car. How are you, Craig?
Billy Duffy, really? The Cult Sanctuary?
That song is, come on, Craig. You listen, you don't have to like the song, but that opening.
No, I love it.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're surprised that I like the song.
I'd have gone with Firewoman, but that's.
Oh, no, I love Firewoman, too. I love both of those songs. I love. But that opening, it's just the way it comes in. I mean, every time I hear that song on the radio, it doesn't even matter if I'm driving. I immediately start drumming. I lose it every time I hear that song.
Or pull over.
I should, but I don't.
It's so good. It's so good. All right. I'm going to do my grievance, but I'm going to make it fair and balanced.
Okay.
And it's on phrases.
Okay.
This Kamala thing was let me be clear, and I've been clear, and we've been clear.
Right.
Well, if you were clear, you wouldn't be asked about it the second time. Right? They're not clear.
Right.
And it's so my wife and I have a drinking game.
Okay.
About how many times Hannity says, "Let me be clear," and in other words,
Okay.
Well, dude, be clear the first time, and you don't have to say it in other words.
Okay, let me help you this one. Call it
fine.
even more fair and balanced. Try this one on the side. The next time you and your wife are watching Hannity, I want you to look out for the amount of times he uses the word now.
Or take a look.
Yeah. Yes, take a look. That's another one. But he says the word. Yes, Lori's got another one. That's true, Lori. Dirty air, dirty water. He has been saying that for at least 20 years.
He's the only guy I know that's ever used the word besmirchment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good Hannity word. Absolutely. Thank you, Craig. Hey, Craig,
Yeah,
it's
unwatchable, dude. Listen, when you do this thing on the 6th,
okay.
It's got to be earlier. We all have to come. It's got to be a live broadcast. We want to watch. We want to participate.
You want to do a live? You want to do a live broadcast on Wednesday?
Yes. The day after Election Day, which is Wednesday.
Okay.
Just like they do on, when they do the thing for the holiday store, right? We all get to go. We watch them do the broadcast. We participate. I want to do that with you.
Okay. All right. I will. You know what? I'm going to email.
Smell like donkey.
I'm going to email Joey right now, right after the show. I'm going to email him, and I'm going to ask him if we can pull something off that quick. I think we can. We've got plenty of partners out there. I'll see whether or not we can work that out.
All right. My T-shirt better not smell like donkey.
It's not. Oh, Jesus. I'm not talking to you anymore. You're already making me feel bad. Thank you, man. Steve
Love you, brother.
You got it, man. Love you, too. Steve's in Waterbury. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right, sir. What's up?
Good. What do you do when you hear Hendrix starting up there?
I will admit there are a couple of songs that I love by Hendrix, but this is weird. I don't know why. This song affects me in a way. The first time I ever heard it, Crosstown Traffic. I really love that song. I don't know. There's something about that guitar that in that song that's always, because it's not, there's something off about it, right? It's not right. It's not formulaic. It's just something that goes off the beaten path. It doesn't have a steady rhythm, and the guitar comes in. It's sort of it's just, it comes out different, and I love that song.
Definitely catchy. I'm calling about the voting, and by the way, one of the people I just wanted to mention, hopefully you get him on the show.
Yes.
He's running against Murphy, is Matt Corey.
We've had him on.
Awesome. Now, you may want to consider his establishment. He's partners in a pub in Hartford.
Oh, I'm sorry. His what?
He has a pub in Hartford. One of his
you know what? Partners. Okay. All right. We'll put him on the list. That's right. He does have a pub in Hartford. I totally forgot about that.
Right. Yeah, I used to be in contact with him. I lost his number. He's a good man, very smart. I definitely like to see him get in.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing I want to mention, if anybody really doesn't like either candidate for president, if they could, write me in as Rollo. They'll know who I am.
Listen to me, and you know what? I'm giving you an applause for that one. Rollo for president. I want a T-shirt. I want it to look just like the one from Napoleon Dynamite. What was the kid's name from Pedro? Pedro for president? That would be perfect. Yeah, Rollo for president, that's a winner. I love it. Thank you, Steve.
I'm not expecting to win, but I hope I get more votes than I did last time.
No doubt. Thank you, buddy. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You got it. Our last but not least is Larry in Bridgeport. How you doing, Larry?
Good. How you doing, Reese? Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
Reese, my gripe is former military people like John Kelly who call Trump out, but yet if you Google and you look up on the internet who they're working for now, and this includes Mark Milley, they're working for defense contractors on the board of directors. John Kelly works for DC Capital, which is their number one or number two business is the settlement of refugees
and
migrants.
Correct.
And
it's a no-bid contract, too. It's a no-bid contract for millions.
It's a no-bid contract. And what's outrageous is Trump is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Trump's the boogeyman. Trump's the fascist. But you guys are making money after a six-figure pension, okay?
Yeah.
you're making money on the board of directors of large munitions companies.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get enough. You love wars and you love conflict. That's my opinion.
And you know what was? And again, this is exactly my point. Are these people, as they pat themselves on the back while they stand on the backs of the people they claim to be trying to protect? These people are profiting off of migrants coming in through the southern border. Profiting, and everyone knows it. It's completely right there out, and no mainstream news media is even covering it.
Yeah, but Reese, you know it because you're educated and you're informed. I know it because I peeled the onion.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people out there, including some people in your audience, who are very smart people, but you got to research everything.
Yeah,
because these people are the biggest hypocrites in the world, and it's just a shame that the mainstream media isn't looking out for the American people.
It's so true. You know what? I said this when I was talking to that guy, Reggie, a couple of weeks ago. He made that comment. You might remember during that conversation, he says, why isn't that stuff being reported? He said, or something to that effect.
Right.
And I said to him, we live in a world where we cannot rely on the standard bearers to give us our news. Unfortunately, even our education, we cannot allow them to be the arbiters of what we learn and what we know. Right now is it's incumbent on all of us to do our jobs. And guess what? Fortunately, we have this medium, right? Even though we do the top of the hour news and the bottom of the hour news, we still have this medium to tell people the stuff that the mainstream media isn't talking about. That's why this medium is that's why Rush made this possible. I loved when the fact that he called himself America's real anchor, America's real anchor man, because indeed that's our job. Our job is to do the job that they don't do anymore.
Reese, you're doing a great job. I enjoy the show.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you and WTIC do for the community in terms of educating people.
Thank you so much for that, man. Much appreciated, Larry. You have a wonderful weekend, sir.
Yeah, you too, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's a great last but not least. We got to get a sponsor for that. We got to get our last but not least is sponsored by. We need to do something like that. We got to find a way to do that. I keep coming up with these ideas. They're running through my mind. It's a corporate business. I'm just spitting out the ideas. That's what I do. Yeah, I'm sorry. By the way, check out that story. It's amazing. This story with the Washington Post. And this isn't what's always strange about that Washington Post thing. It's also, remember when NBC News, when they hired Ronna McDaniel to work on NBC News, and then all the staffers flipped on the brass of the network, and the network then immediately fired her? They let her go because, the staffers run the establishment now? Because everybody else was upset that she got hired, that they actually listened to them? And now this is happening with the Washington Post. That we also there was another thing. What was it? Tom Cotton at the New York Times wrote an op-ed. They printed it, and then they pressured the editor who allowed the op-ed to go in the paper. They forced him to resign. It's insane. And what I also find crazy is that the partisanship is right on their sleeves. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to check out the Sunday show. It'll air at 5 p.m. On Sunday, of course, after the Patriots game. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is now planning, so plan your work and work your plan. I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good weekend, a pleasant tomorrow, and a pleasant Sunday, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Holler. Now let's get back to Ian Stark at the BPS Traffic Center with more of your traffic.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Rush.
All right, you're clear. Good show, Reese.
Thank you, sir.
Out for the woods yet when it comes to delays on 84. Anywhere between Prospect Avenue and exit 44 and the Bulkley Bridge, you will find pockets of traffic. Not the entire stretch, but a lot of the stretch. So if you're on westbound 2, you're still going to have a little trouble trying to merge on 84 West. You're on southbound.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, John. Hey, John Beckman. How are you? Ed says, I have a great idea for a sponsor for last but not least. That's a restaurant and bar on Maple Avenue in Hartford called Oh, I like that. First and last. That's actually good. Hey, Ed, do me a favor. If you can, send me an email. Go to reasoonradio.com That's REESE. You know the website. Just go to that real quick for me, and you can send me your info and let me know what your Friday date looks like. You said you need to go be home on Thursday. Take Friday. Oh, take Friday. Okay. I'll do something so that we can do something on Friday so that, you don't miss out. We'll figure something out because I have to leave on Saturday. So we'll figure it out. But just send me an email so I can at least keep in touch with you if you're not here during the week. All right? Thank you, guys. I love you. As always, thank you for making it a wonderful show and giving me something to feed back on. It's nice to know that you're there. So in essence, for me, you're a part of the show as well. So I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy, busy lives to help me out for sometimes 3 hours a day. All right. I love you guys. Always will. See you on Monday.